Welcome to Florida's only cannabis radio program. Welcome to Cannabis Life Radio.
Microphones. Oh my goodness. Are we on the air? We really are on the air? No? We're not on the air. You big liar. Stop lying. But the music is kind of cool. Yeah.
I wonder who the DJ is.
DJ Super
Leon.
Gabe.
You do have a Jamaican
Super
name.
Gabe. That's Leon is
Leon.
Latin for lion. No, we're not live.
It's Leon. No, Leon is a Jamaican.
Are we really live?
Yeah, we're live.
Find out if we're live or not. Oh my goodness, we all live. Man, I didn't believe
We're
it.
such professionals.
I didn't say anything dirty, did I? Welcome to Cannabis Life Radio, Florida's original cannabis radio program. And what we decided on, since there was no big cannabis news this week, we decided to just cancel the show, and we're just leaving. All right. Everybody, goodbye. Good night.
All right, see you. Bye.
Pull up.
No, actually, the biggest news probably since 1937, the biggest news about cannabis happened this week. Correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
I wouldn't say the biggest, but there's a lot of problems with the fact of Jeff Sessions coming out and putting that Cole memorandum put together in reference to.
You need your microphone, sir.
My bad. I'm
Nobody
sorry.
can hear you.
Rescinding the Cole memorandum.
Rescinding the Cole memo.
Okay, so we got to explain to everybody knows that everybody's upset with Jeff Sessions, but we've got to understand what the Cole memorandum was.
Yes. I'll let Cheryl handle
Yeah,
that.
so thanks, guys. The Cole Memorandum, very integral to the ability of states to regulate their own marijuana industries across the country. It was put in place by Attorney General under the Obama administration. And it's very permissive as far as if a state will highly regulate their industry, they can have a legal marijuana industry. The objective is to starve the cartels and make sure there isn't an illegal market, so disrupt the illegal market, and which is why the federal government says, even though our laws on the books say that marijuana is Schedule 1, we're going to turn a blind eye. We will not enforce, we will not prosecute based on the fact that it is illegal based on this memorandum. So that's basically what the Cole memo says. Sessions has given hints as far as whether he's favorable towards the Cole memorandum, and then he makes these statements and then he takes them back. So this week we had a huge bombshell just days after California legalized their marijuana industry, as well as Massachusetts. So both states went recreational this week. Or on January 1st, which was Monday. So as soon as that happened, then he decides he's going to rescind the Cole memorandum, which sent everybody scurrying. So I kind of want to hear what you guys feel, what you think about the fact that he's saying that each state, their individual attorney generals will have the authority to prosecute as they deem necessary. Which always makes me a little nervous because then I think about small business and minority businesses being targeted. Anytime people can do it as they see fit, or they're given that type of discretion. Usually it's the small guy that gets kicked in the rear end.
They don't mess around with the big guys. I actually think it's the greatest thing ever. I was discussing this with Super Gabe earlier.
Okay, tell me more.
You have the gun?
Listen.
The gun?
Listen to my logic. Listen to my logic. Have you ever seen on social media and in the political arena such people of all political bents coming together against this man, because that is the stupidest thing that he possibly could do, politically, as far as economically. Everybody is together against him, and it's going to force Congress to do something. I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen.
But that's the problem. Which side is Congress going to push to is the problem.
Well, Congress is going to push to stopping him. That's what's going to happen, and that's what they're all working against.
I completely agree with you. The more attention that's brought to this industry, the better it is, because the more people get educated and the more people get involved in the industry itself by paying attention to it, whether it's getting involved in the actual business or understanding that the stigma should not be there in the first place.
Right.
That is what these type of comments, when Session does it, or FDA, or the DEA, or something like that, which is the higher power, obviously, as we all know. So we follow their rules.
Right.
We try to educate them on the fact that this is something that is coming. It's a train. Get on board, make regulations, do what you need to do, and everybody wins. For the reason is alcohol has diminished. Opiate addiction has diminished in certain states.
Crime in general goes down.
And it's on our
crime.
Facebook. I mean, if you follow us on Facebook at Sea Life Radio, you'll see the fact that in certain states we have the numbers. They're posted. You could go there. That one post has been shared over 600 times, and it was just recently posted. The fact is that the more attention that we bring to this issue, yes, it is good. I agree with you on that side.
Yeah.
But the fact is that it's bad because this guy's in power.
He's done. He's going to be gone in a week. I'm telling you, he's done.
From your mouth to God's
I'm telling
ears.
you, I've never seen so many people. I mean, even people like Mike Chernovic are making fun of how ridiculous this is. This guy is letting people do whatever they want, and he's going after pot smokers and legal pot businesses. It's ridiculous. And everybody's furious.
I 100% agree, because it's just not people. When we went to Nebraska, and we'll be back there again, and we're going to start talking a little bit more about what happened and really start helping the young lady, the grandmother over there that has never been in trouble, never smoked any cannabis or medicated, and was put in handcuffs and taken to jail for 18 hours and sat there thinking that she was not going to have a defense. Right. And nobody was going to come to her rescue. And we've already put about 4 or 5 of the biggest companies in the United States together to help fight these battles, because that's what we need to do. We need to fight the battles to win, so they could hear the voice of the people in these states. They got to hear the voice of the people, because if not, if everybody stays quiet, and we've always talked about that here on this show. Yeah. If you stay quiet, you sit home, and you think that things are going to get done just because, then they're not going to get done. They're going to do what they want to do. Yeah. But the fact is that the precious thing that they really care about is the golden seat that they sit on to make the rules and regulations for everything else, and how this country works and control. So what do you do to somebody who is control freak? Take away that option,
their power,
that power, and now they're really going to freak out. Yeah. So the fact is that we need to speak up, and the people that listen and really want to be part of something, if you're sitting at home, shame on you. Yeah. Because the fact is, it's not their fault; it's our fault for not allowing them to take it away from us. Yep. So either stand up, call your representatives, do something, because if they go backwards, it's not going to be their fault. It's going to be our fault, because we didn't stand up to them and let them know where we should stand in this subject.
And now is the time to do it, because everyone else is doing it. And it's the flood of, I can tell you right now, I called the Justice Department. I called Attorney General Sessions' office, and I couldn't get through the first couple of times. So, and
you mean that means a lot of people are calling?
Yeah, I know it means that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I mean, there are a couple schools of thought. Some people agree with you and Arby as far as it's a good thing.
I don't think it's a good thing. He said it's a good thing.
So I'm going to.
I think that next. Let me just clarify. I think next week we're going to all have smiles on our faces as to what happened between now and next week as far as Jeff Sessions.
From their lips to God's ears,
I'm telling you.
As Arby said. So, there are people who think it's a good thing, but that's based on a lot of variables. Like, people actually do have to get up, and they need to vote, and they need to know which candidates are supportive and which ones aren't. Those are a lot of variables that I'm not entirely comfortable with, especially after the last election where, it was like, the
Let's
Hillary
not get
versus...
into politics.
No, well, it is politics.
Yeah.
Well,
everybody has to...
Here's the floor. Here's the floor. Here we go.
Politics.
Well, it is.
So
it kind of is, because, the president isn't doing anything about it. The president isn't stopping him.
Right.
Why isn't he doing it? He promised on the campaign trail.
He's going to do it live. I really don't think so. I think it's going to be more of a closed door meeting.
He's done. I'm telling you, he's going to fire him.
Listen, I hope he is. I mean, I hope he is, because he's, again, I'm not going to damn on anybody, but the fact is that because everybody's a human, everybody has their own opinion, and that's what this great country's about, is having your opinion on what you believe in. But the fact is that his opinion comes from decades ago.
Right.
You know, he's that old regime that's in there.
He still thinks that, just say no is the correct way to handle this stuff.
Exactly. So the fact is that as long as they put somebody in there that understands the people, because what I love about this is the fact that it's a voting year. Yeah. That's what I like about this. Yep. That's what I'm...
And everybody's going to have to be forced to take a side. Exactly. That's why I think
they have to get
something's going to get done.
And the other politicians need to stand up and defend the fact that this is creating jobs and it's creating revenues.
Yeah.
There was a very vigilant statement from the governor of Oregon just blasting this decision, and she was basically saying that, listen, we just spent all this time, effort, and money trying to make sure that our marijuana practices are aligned with this Cole memo, and then you're going to just take it out from under us. You know, that's bad policy. She's recognized the job creation, so we need to stand firm and let them know that this is unacceptable.
Absolutely.
Whether President Trump decides he's going to remove him, that would be a great thing. Whether we use the power of our vote as a cannabis industry to stand firm and remove all the people who are going to be standing in the way of legalization.
Yeah.
The unfortunate part about this is it has been made political, and the patients are just hanging. The patients are just
they're the ones suffering.
Yeah. They're the ones who are suffering.
They're the ones who are suffering.
While everyone politicizes this issue. And, I think it's just an attention grab. I think that, like Leon says, we should know in the next week or 2 weeks what the outcome will be. There are a few. One, we can have Sessions removed, and Trump makes a very positive statement with regards to this. However, his statement so far through Sarah Huckabee is the president agrees with enforcing the law, federal law, including marijuana. So he's already made his statement, and his statement is that he's standing with Sessions.
Right.
We have the opportunity of, the petitioning and things at the state level. We want to continue, and we'll talk more about that in a later segment today, continue to support the efforts that are in favor of legalization. But I think the prominent message here is, all the factions in the cannabis industry, all the division. When it comes down to
that's a great point. And I just want to shout out real quick, and I'll let you continue. Yeah. I got Stacy Corman. Thank you for posting on Facebook elected officials where you could actually reach out to these elected officials and make your phone calls, make your voice heard. I mean, this is a voting year. You got to let them know how you feel and where you stand. If not, we're gonna go back. It's going to go backwards. We're not going to go forward. We're going to go backwards. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sharon.
No, you're fine. When it comes down to who our real enemy is, it's not within the cannabis industry. It's not CBD versus THC. It's not, one organization versus the other, or, one minority organization versus another, or one women's organization versus the other. Our true enemy does not sit in the cannabis industry. They may try to penetrate with, fraudulent individuals acting like they're trying to help us. And there's one person that definitely comes to mind.
I got a couple in my mind.
But we have to see through those things, and we really need to be united. We need a lobby day in D.C. We need to wake these legislators up and say, hey, you took our health care away. What are we going to do for our patients? Our patients don't have the health care that they had previously, and now you're taking the cannabis that is helping with their relief of cancer, HIV, autism, Alzheimer's, chronic pain, all these issues. I call it wellness privilege. People who have really good, cushiony health care, they don't have sick people in their family, and they're not sick themselves, they're making these rules, and they're not thinking of the people who are suffering as a result of it. And there will be an uprising, there will be a revolution with regards to that, because it's just not right, it's not fair, it's not the American way, it's not the Christian way, and we need to stand up and fight.
We need to stop allowing them to tell us what we are allowed to take.
Yeah,
you understand? If it's not going to hurt, it's not going to hurt us.
You should be in charge of our bodies.
Oxys and opiates and all this other crap that's out there that pharma's behind, and they're the ones lobbying in these Midwestern states because that's where they know they could go. They can't come to Florida and try that.
Right, because
they can't
people
go
are
to
too smart
Cali.
here, believe it or
they
not.
can't go to New York.
Right.
They can't go to these major cities because they're going to lose. As soon as they walk in the door and they see that guy with a nice little suit on, you know, and probably $5,000 shoes, we're all going to laugh at him. You know, that's why we've tried to keep the cigarette companies and the alcohol companies out of this industry. But the fact is that they're in it.
Right.
We can't get them out.
Yeah.
But at least they're doing something to move this thing forward and
Right.
in some sort of fashion.
Right.
This belongs to the people. This plant belongs to the people. It's a seed. It grows. We should be able to grow it ourselves, do what we want with it, and then at that point in time, as long as it's done responsibly and we have regulations in place, and again, we're going to fall back on Regulate Florida. This is another issue. People are not willing to go ahead and sign that. You know, if we sign Regulate Florida and we have a regulated Florida, we regulate it like alcohol,
Right.
we would not have this discussion.
Yeah.
We'll be here having, you know, sports athletes like we have Trey Estrell sitting in our he's here on the side. What do you call it?
What's
He'll
up,
be
Trey?
joining us today. There'll be a bunch of athletes. We sat down. He was in our warehouse sitting down with athletes, which I won't discuss, you know, out on the radio right now. They'll probably be joining us on the radio sometime soon.
You might want to follow Trey on his page.
Absolutely. And we'll let him shout that out because he's an extremely intelligent gentleman who's been in the athletic arena since Pop Warner. And he realizes that the athletes are now going in that. And especially when USADA even just came out and took CBD off their ban list.
Right.
The next thing is the THC side, you know, and a lot of players use that instead of taking pills.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and that's the problem. If these guys continue to go in this direction and we allow that to happen, that's not their fault. That's our fault for not speaking up. That's our fault for people not calling and taking 5 minutes of their damn day to make phone calls. You know, have your daughter make a phone call, your son, your aunt, your uncles, your grandparents.
Pass me the phone
everybody,
when someone gets on the line.
Everybody. We
Yeah.
have an attorney. We were working last night, till 9 o'clock at night?
Yeah.
Trying to get things done.
good stuff.
And on good stuff. So if people don't put their time and effort into this, you know what? Shame on us, man. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
Shame on us.
Absolutely. 2 points of clarification. One, when I say that it's not the Christian way, it's because, you know, the United States is founded on Christian principles, but I do not say that to exclude my Muslim brothers and sisters, my Jewish brothers and sisters, my Hindu brothers and sisters. We all need to be united for this cause. So after I said that, I want to make sure I clarified that the American way is an inclusive way, and we need to unite as we move forward. And the second clarification is with this Jeff Sessions memo, it is targeting the recreational space. So it isn't disrupting medical at this time. It doesn't appear to be targeting medical. There is the risk and the hovering risk of medical being transported into like a Schedule II space where it's owned by the pharmaceuticals, which kind of disrupts our small business space and our industry that we love so much. And it doesn't affect the hemp industry where the authorization for that is given through the Farm Bill
But
of
it still
2014.
it still makes us go in the wrong direction instead of the right direction.
No doubt. I just wanted to make those clarifications that medical isn't. It doesn't appear that medical is a specific target of this, as well as the hemp space. However, the hemp space is united with the THC
Absolutely,
space.
absolutely.
And I'll let Arby speak to that.
1,000% on that. And we had a conversation yesterday with a gentleman like Bill Monroe, and I think he just joined us right now. You know, me and Bill had a good conversation because we're all fighting the same fight. You know, we're all in the same fight, and everybody should have the right to medicate exactly how they want to. And having a gentleman like Mr. Session come out and go in that direction and kind of set us back, you know, a decade, you know, and now allowing it to a rogue, let's say a rogue sheriff's office or a rogue, you know, prosecutor wants to go ahead and just go nuts and start arresting people for nothing. For absolutely
That's what it does. It opens the door for stupidity.
And what Arby and I were talking about yesterday, you know, how, like we kind of went back in time, was like, this is exactly how it became illegal the first time. These threats that are appearing little by little, they're testing the waters. That's how we went 70-something years without a legalized industry. It's because people were sleeping at the wheel. Now, we can't afford to sleep at the wheel at this point. We need to be vigilant. We need to be educated. We need to be educating others. We need to come out of the cannabis closet and have these honest conversations with the people who will be voting, people who are voters in our families, in the schools where our kids go. We need to stop the charade and the like, oh, if it's legal, then yay, I'm into cannabis. But if it's not, then I'm like in my closet and, you know.
Right.
The black market,
Yeah.
that's the problem. The black market is there. They're never going to be able to take away. The war on drug failed. The whole thing across the board failed. So the fact is that all it's going to do is just put people right back into calling whoever they call to get their, to get medicated.
What was his name? Jose? That's the guy that
We
you
got
always
Tito, Jose, Juan, Carlos, Gonzalez, Frank, John.
Oh, my goodness.
Everybody. But the fact is that that's the freaking problem,
James.
is that the more you regulate this industry, that's where the crime comes. So that's where he gets all confused, Mr. Session, is the fact is the more you regulate it and the more things that you wrap around this plant, it causes, yes, criminals, of course. It's a plant, and it's a plant that has value. And that's why when in these legal and recreational states, you got to go and follow certain guidelines, protect the plant, make sure your facilities is security, has your cameras, has everything. But if everybody's growing the freaking plant, nobody's going to have a freaking problem because I'm not going to want to rob a plant if I already know I can grow my own plant.
Right, that's growing in
So that is the problem. It's gonna affect everything across the board, from employment opportunities, which it's blown up in all these states. It's gonna stop taxes. California this year, $1 billion. And I think they're undercutting themselves, saying that they're only going to do $1 billion.
Yeah.
We could do a lot with $1 billion here in Florida,
Oh my goodness.
with an educational system that's literally torn up. I mean, I was looking at something on the news. Fort Lauderdale, Hialeah, Miami. They're one of the worst places to live, in the country.
You would think it would be
a
exactly the
shame.
opposite.
That is an
South Florida.
absolute freaking shame that we are on that list of worst places to live or criminal-wise.
Yep.
And look at the talent that comes out of Hialeah. So if you have the right
We got
resources,
talent in Hialeah.
Him right there.
Arby's from Hialeah.
He's you're from Hialeah.
Gabe, you're from Hialeah?
Yeah, he's a Hialeah.
We got some
Hi,
we got some
got Jimmy
Hialeah
from
rep-
Hialeah.
I speak
Absolutely.
Hialeah.
Laura from Hialeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Our
I'm a
commander in
translator.
chief is from Hialeah. So
Yeah.
the fact is that we get tired of speaking up and up and up. People need to put their time and effort and stop whining about it and stop crying about it. And as the young lady just posted on our Facebook, there is lists. It's not too difficult. Google it. Call your representative. Call your mayor. Call your senators. Call your local House representative. These guys do not want to lose their seat. It's too cushy for them to lose their seat over something like this. And at the same time, we could raise a lot of money. We could tax it. We could use those taxes for education, just like Colorado did, and a lot of other things, as long as they use the money.
Yeah.
And they use it for the right reasons, and that's the problem. We need to continue to educate. This is going to be a very interesting year in 2018. We're creating a huge database from TFC Marketing, which is creating and just gathering data. People want to speak up against it. You know what? We could battle that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we can't do this all alone. We need people standing behind us and making those phone calls. So when they do get those phone calls and they got that email, they're going to be thinking twice about, standing up there and say, I'm against cannabis.
Right.
Because they're going to lose their freaking
They
seat.
have to. That's what I'm saying. This is all good. Like the CNN thing on New Year's Eve. People were saying
That was great.
I think it was fantastic. It was
good.
so
That was-
awesome because
that was awesome.
it exposed on social media, it exposed these people that are supposedly, free market people and supposedly states' rights people. It exposed them for who they are. They're supporting big pharma. They think of cannabis as a joke. It's not a joke. No.
They want synthetics, man. I mean, we know. Listen, pharma's gonna have a piece in this business.
Yeah.
We need pharma in this business because it is medicinal. So they could go and create medicinal, as long as it's not synthetics and not like Marinol and all this other. Now they're talking about, Marinol is like the holy grail. Marinol is crap.
Right.
It is.
Okay, straight up crap.
Every time I've ever talked to somebody that used it, they hated it.
It's only
Yeah.
one. They now made it into a gum, into a chewable, so it doesn't hit you all at once because
Right.
it's all. You could be 50 pounds or you could be 400. It's going to affect the person the same way.
Right.
And it's going to affect them differently because it's too much of a milligram for certain size
Right.
people.
It's like 200 milligrams or something.
I
like
don't
that?
even know, but it's crap anyways.
Well, thank you, sir.
I'm not in a good mood today.
All right, do you want to take a break and then we can recuperate and all get refreshed?
Yeah,
let's
I need some water.
up.
Freshen up. I'm gonna take a run around the building real quick.
Jeff Sessions will be back in just a moment.
Jeff Sessions is here. Oh my goodness! You are currently tuned to Cannabis Life Radio, brought to you by Green Roads World.
As a loving pet owner, you want to treat your senior dog for dysplasia, neuropathy, and joint discomfort with minimal traditional chemical medication. And as loving pet owners, we at King Canine agree, and we're excited to make our signature CBD line available to you. Derived from all-natural cannabidiol compounds, lab-tested, non-GMO, plant-based, cutting-edge King Calm CBD reduces inflammation and discomfort naturally, and even reduces anxiety from fireworks and thunderstorms. Go to kingcanine.com. That's KINGKANINE for details, and browse a full line of products like King Calm De-Shedder, King Calm Balm, and King Clean Shampoo for pet wellness inside and out. Order now using the code BARK20 for an exclusive 20% discount. KINGKANINE.com. King Calm CBD and the rest of our natural cannabidiol products. King Canine for natural pet wellness inside and out.
Across the state to across the country, the Hemp Kings is your online home for hemp oil products. From organic hemp oil to intense concentrates, there is only one name you need to remember. The Hemp Kings.
The Hemp Kings.
Our Hemp Cream Pain Blaster lotions uses natural essential oils to deliver hemp's natural pain reliever directly to the site of inflammation for long-lasting relief. Now, our Pain Blaster Hemp Cream has now gone to the extreme.
Extreme?
Extreme!
Extreme!
New Pain Blaster Extreme Cream delivers even more relief, even faster! The best hemp products at the best prices delivered anywhere in the continental U.S. TheHempKings.com!
TheHempKings.com. Green Roads World is recognized as one of the world's leading suppliers of CBD products, and Cannabis Life Radio is giving away Green Roads CBD products every week. To join, just tune in our Facebook Live broadcast every Saturday morning at 10 and follow the instructions on air and in the comment section. Cannabis Life Radio is teaming up with Green Roads World to give you free CBD. Good luck from Cannabis Life Radio and Green Roads World.
Florida Home Grow is the state's #1 seller of hemp oil products. Stop by and check out their organic hemp oil, capsules, and pain-killing topical lotions. Enjoy a complimentary cup of fresh organic coffee when checking out our beautiful showroom. Florida Home Grow also carries unique hemp items like jewelry, soaps, clothing, and accessories. Don't forget to try refreshing natural lemonade or delicious ice cream sandwiches. Florida Home Grow is conveniently located on Lake Worth Road between Jog and the Turnpike. We're the #1 sellers of hemp oil products because our stuff works.
Nobody covers cannabis news like Cannabis Life Radio. Nobody.
Cannabis Life Radio is on the air. This is Florida's original cannabis radio program.
Yes.
I'm Leon Hamilton, along with Arby Barroso, Cheryl Murray Powell, and a very special guest, one of several today. Treyas Jarrells is here.
Yes.
Can we have a round of applause for Trey?
Finally made it.
Yes.
I'm sorry you had to walk into that, man. I mean,
Yeah.
we're passionate here.
Yep.
You know, you've been with us now 2 weeks here. And we just want to welcome you aboard first, the Cannabis Life Radio and the Green Roads family.
Yes.
It's an honor, you know. Like we talked about, they've been trying to get me down here for about a year and a half. Finally made it, and you know, it's the best decision that I made thus far. You know,
Nice.
to get around a group of people that's like family and bring you in, and then you got somebody like Arby and Cheryl to look up to.
Yeah.
You know, that's leading it in this industry. You know, for me to come in and gain that knowledge is awesome. So
Yep.
it's an honor to be here.
So let me
Welcome
ask
to
you.
the team.
Yeah, welcome to the team. What do you think about what happened and what Session did? I mean, where are you at with this?
I'm disappointed. You know, like Cheryl was saying, they're messing with an industry that's generating a lot of revenue, not just for states but for individuals. It's a lot of opportunities in the industry. You know, as far as job goes. Not only that, but everybody don't want to be a medical patient. You know, recreational and medical is a terminology to me. Regardless if you're going to get, you know, cannabis for recreational use, it's still medicinal
Right.
benefits.
A lot of people just like the anonymity.
Exactly,
Yes.
exactly. So, you know, I'm real disappointed. I hope it's just bark, not bite.
Yeah.
You know, just, Jeff Sessions just trying to get more regulation and scare the people up a little bit, because you still got some companies out there that's still, they're still not doing the right thing. So I would like to see the industry regulated a little more, just so we can get those bad apples out of the bunch. But to try to come down on the industry from a federal level, I think that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
We just got a post right now from Carol Oleg. Thank you for your post. It says, Pennsylvania governor vows to protect medical marijuana from federal overreach. These are the things that we need. We need the governors that really believe in this to say that and continue to push back on what the White House is coming out and saying.
Right.
Because the fact is, again, it's the people and the people that believe in this and seen it. This is the problem. I wish I could get a boat or a bus full of these guys that don't believe it and go sit them in a house or a place or a hospital or anywhere where certain people are medicating, so that you could see what the difference is. Because the sad part is a lot of people come to this conclusion when they get sick, which is the sad part.
Or somebody they know.
Or somebody they know gets sick, and all of a sudden they're buying it for their family, and they're a senator, or they're Sessions, or they're one of these guys, and all of a sudden they're buying it for their families, but yet, like the healthcare, like Cheryl said earlier, somebody's got the cushy healthcare, and we don't.
Exactly.
Why don't they get the same healthcare that they voted for? Why ain't they sitting on the same healthcare that they voted for? Isn't it for the people?
Exactly.
Ain't they representing the people? The fact is they're not. They're representing themselves. They're representing Big Pharma, and they're getting big donations. And we'll be disclosing certain things. If I'm not here after a month, that there's a reason why.
We're a conspiracy theorists.
We got conspiracy theorists going. So I'm telling you right now, we're going to come in strong to certain states, and we're preparing legal teams to do so only to protect the people. Not on the cannabis side. It's going to be first on the CBD side. But we are advocates for cannabis, the whole plant, everything in the plant itself, except the people that are doing it the wrong way.
And Cannabis Life, we're going to use the Medicaid shirt as a symbol for this type of revolution, for us standing firm in the right to use. Arby, you want to talk a little bit about how things we have planned for our Medicaid shirt through Cannabis Life?
It's the Medicaid shirt's going to be almost like exactly like you said. Like, it's going to be a symbol of allowing, a symbol of freedom, a symbol of, this is what I want to do. And it doesn't mean that it's not right for you to go out. Again, treat it like alcohol, man. You shouldn't be driving when you're smoking. There's a lot of things that you shouldn't be doing. So do it responsibly. Treat it as if you're having a beer. You're not going to have a beer and drive down the street. So the more that we treat it that way, and we as responsible adults treat it that way, the more acceptance they're going to get.
Exactly.
They're going to get that illusion of that the person downstairs in their basement smoking a bowl. That's not the image that we want them to have. We want them to have the image of go and visit a family that's had to pick up and sell all their stuff and go to a state where it's accepted, where they could get medicated and treat themselves better. We've had a Doug Bench, that was putting people in jail. You know what I'm saying? They were putting him in jail, and he was crying on this show when we had him on, because he felt so guilty for the fact of putting people in jail, and now he's all over it and using it for a COPD. That's the people that we need, and he's speaking out and he's doing his thing. And those are the people that they need to hear from. The responsible, professional his whole life, because they don't see anybody else. They see that person in the suit and kind of give them that respect.
And we want to support the people who support us. So you guys, those of you who follow me may have seen I've hosted Sharon Jones, his reelection. We are going to do that for all of the candidates, whether they're at the federal level, state level, multiple state levels. If they support the plant and the freedom of the plant, and they support patients, we're going to support them for the 2018 election, for the 2020 election. So I said that we would give out a shirt with to one of the people who shared. So continue to share, and then we'll probably announce by the end of the show or next week.
We're going to make thousands of those shirts.
Yeah, we're going to make thousands. Arby Hardy has a plan to we're going to sell some. We're going to give some away. We're getting other companies to contribute so that we can give as many of those shirts away. And when we have those hearings, we're going to be up there with our Medicaid shirts in all these different states, so look out for us because we're standing with the industry.
Yeah, we got to figure out who these people are that aren't standing with the industry.
Well, they're going to probably be hiding in a cave real soon.
Man, we know.
And we're publishing it.
big man.
Well, listen, Trey, let's get into a little bit of your story. You've been on with us, quite a few times now.
Right.
Now you're down here. Thank you for coming down and trusting us and finally seeing what we have going on. The fact is that you've been around athletics.
Right.
You've been, we've had, you could mention it, and I'll let you get into it. The people that you're dealing with that
Right.
have benefited from certain things in the cannabis space or hemp or CBD.
Right.
Share with the people right now on Facebook what benefits you've seen.
Just from the standpoint of coming up in the athletic realm, that's all you see. That's all you offer. You don't have any options besides the stimulants, the opioids, Toradol, or the painkiller shots. Me personally, I've seen what it not only did for in the sports arena, but my stepfather. The opioids took him down a path. So I seen it personally, and that kind of stuck to me. Me knowing what these opioids can do. It's not good. So being in the locker room and you seeing these guys, take 5 ibuprofen, 5 Advil, and you got 2 of these. So that means they're taking 10 pills a day on your liver. You're out there running. You don't got that much fluids in your body, so it's just sitting there. All that damage that's occurring. Yeah. And then when you go to the next step, football is a high-impact sport. Injuries are going to occur. It's something you can't avoid it, right? So when you do run into that ACL or that shoulder injury, or when you got to get surgery, what option are they going to give you? The opioids. And that's where I seen a lot of my close friends, get hooked on that stuff. I'm not going to say any names, but one of the guys that I played with, he was a younger guy. He was a freshman, and we would have 6 a.m. workouts, and everybody would look around and, where is he? Where is he? Well, one day we went to his dorm room, and he was laying on the ground foaming out the mouth, and it was from pills that they administered to him from the school. And, they took it from him for about 2 weeks.
That
and they
story
gave it
got
back
squashed.
Oh, yeah, of course. Nobody knows about
that.
Nobody knows
You'll
about
never
that.
know about that, right? But that's what happens every day, and like me and my cousin was talking about last night, you got different tiers of schools. You got the University of Miami, you got the Colorado States, you got the FIUs, but at the end of the day, it's different levels, but it's the same things happen. It's happening everywhere, So to be able to offer these guys, a organic alternative is huge. Not just for the sake of their health, but for the sake of they got parents, they got fathers. The stress that puts on their parents, knowing that, hey, my child is strung out on this pill, this painkiller that was offered by the school, was offered by individuals that they trusted. The coach, the team doctors, come in and, we're going to take care of your child, but at the same time, that's not what's taking place.
Yeah, take care of your child. I'm putting him back to play.
Right.
Hit him up with a little Toradol, a little, a couple oxys, and he'll be fine. Don't worry about it. He'll be good.
He's gonna go to the NFL. He's gonna make money for the family.
Exactly.
Those pills are no good, and we're seeing that the athletic industry or people in athletics, they're starting to wake up. The alums are, when we talk to them, they want to just be out of pain.
That's it.
That's all they want is to be out of pain and not hooked on anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the challenge that they're facing. And we have the solution with our CBD and for some of them, marijuana is a candidate as well.
Right.
So it's really for physicians to get into the current times and educate themselves and understand that alternatives need to be available.
Right.
Yeah. And again,
no one wants to be a zombie.
There's gonna be people that have and need those type of medications.
Yeah.
There's no way around it. I
Right.
mean, when people are getting $50 million contracts, $100 million contracts, they want to be on the field. That's what they're going to get paid for.
Right.
But the fact is that there's ways to go about it. Not just give them pills and pills and pills and pills. Create a regimen to live a healthier, longer playing professional career. As we spoke to some of the athletes that were in our, at our place yesterday, that's what's important, is extending your career.
Right.
Your career. If you're on pills, it shortens your career.
It shortens.
Right.
That's there's no way ifs, ands, buts about it. Guaranteed, it shortens your career because you're playing when you shouldn't be playing at times. So it shortens your career. You get less lifespan in any sport if you get only playing and you got to continue to play on pills. Brett Favre was one of them.
Right.
Look at these guys, the guys that have been playing for, haven't missed a game. You think that these guys that haven't missed a game are not, popping a bunch of pills before you get in there, or getting a shot before they get in there?
Right.
Absolutely not. Impossible. I've heard it from them personally, including Brett Favre, You know, he knew. He came out and said, I got a problem.
Right.
You know, and a bunch of other guys have come out and said.
We talked to Willis.
Yeah,
you know,
we talked to Willis.
Absolutely.
Willis said straight out.
Yeah.
Toradol.
Yeah, that was his best friend. Yeah.
Well, I think CBD will optimize. I know you're talking about, you know, not that some of the prescription meds will shorten careers, but I think we'll see a lengthening of careers, and that's just my opinion. It's not based in any studies or anything like that. But my favorite athlete, Brianna Barroso, she's seen a tremendous results from using our pain cream. RB, I don't know if you want to speak to that.
Well, no, I mean, it's not. I haven't been shy about giving my daughter, you know, 10 milligrams or you know, using it because she's got a trampoline at the house, so it's even worse. But the fact is she's very athletic, and you know, even at 9 years old, she gets bumps and bruises. And the CBD that we use on her, on the pain cream and stuff like that, we administer. We put it on her legs, and it makes. We've seen the results of it, and it's not going to harm her. It's not going to. If people really read and understand what the endocannabinoid system is, it's basically like giving her a vitamin.
That's it.
You know, there's no
Just a
THC,
nutrient.
and it's a nutrient. That's all it is. So, you know, we've seen it. We've heard it from professional athletes that have made millions and millions of dollars. We have athletes now in the NFL that are using it now that they know that it's off USADA, which is, for people that don't know what USADA is, it's a USA anti-doping agency. That now that it's not as scheduled. Yesterday when we were at our warehouse, the guy, one of the trainers that trains these NBA basketball players, they have a big poster inside their locker room saying this is what you cannot take, and they got a big list of that. Well, that one, they go, they don't even pay attention to that. Only when something gets taken out is when they pay attention to it. They're all now paying attention to the fact that CBD's out. You know, and that's a big step.
Breathing a sigh of relief.
Yes, that's a big step forward in sports itself. So we need to continue to push forward. We don't need to be taking steps back. There's 29 states. We should have 40. You know, God bless. You know, after this voting year's done, you know, and they need to understand that it's the voice of the people, man. They don't govern to govern us. You know, we put them in power to work for us. So that's what they need to start really understanding, is the fact that we put them there to work for us. We pay them, you know, so they need to listen. And if they don't want to listen, we're going to make all the efforts that we can, and we're going to start sending out, you know, by the time we're done in voting year, we're going to have 400,000 emails of Floridians that we're going to be able to use directly to voters to make sure that they vote for people that believe in it. I don't care what party they belong to. I don't care where they stand on anything. The fact is that we're going to use the data that we're collecting, you know, as a tool to help the people of Florida make sure that we get what we deserve, and the 71% of people that came out to vote get what they deserve. And that's Amendment 2 applied the way it was supposed to be applied by Morgan, Mike Minardi, that's been fighting for this, for Regulate Florida, and everything else. And if we don't do that, we're not going to have the signatures, boys and girls, you know, and we're going to end up losing. And then next thing you know, everybody's going to be crying about how, you know, they couldn't do this and they couldn't do that. Prime example, Green Bank, I read an article. That's it. They're not taking money from any of the nurseries or dispensaries anymore.
They're not.
You know, so now what are we going to do? You know, we're going to sit on our hands?
No.
You know what I'm saying?
We create our own. And it's a great segue to talk about what is happening in Florida cannabis industry. Today there's a public policy conference. Central Florida Normal's involved in that. I know most of the leaders in the industry. We got Jody James. We got, you know, Roz McCarthy, Robert Roundtree, Michael Minardi. You know, most of the people who are prominent are in Orlando at this public policy, so I can't wait to see the outputs from that. But Trey, you've been in the Colorado industry, you've been in the Florida industry. Do you care to do any comparisons as far as the differences between the two?
Oh, it's a huge difference.
Yeah, you can smoke in Colorado. You can't smoke here.
Yeah, it's a huge difference. I went out to Colorado when they first went recreational back in 2014, and that was one of the big reasons I went to Colorado. I didn't know anything about Colorado besides the fact that cannabis was not legal there, and now I can, you know, partake in my medicine. So when I went there, it was an eye opener. Coming from California, that already had, you know, a similar environment, but it wasn't, you know, to the extent of a Colorado. We just went to the dispensary, you know. being a player, I didn't want to become a patient, initially because I was a
Absolutely.
player. So I had my guys who worked at the dispensary, Organic Alternatives, down in Fort Collins, and we would go in and they would make sure I was able to get my medicine. But that was me going back to saying that everybody doesn't want to be a patient. You got some professionals who they don't want their name in that database because nobody really knows what they're doing with that information.
Exactly.
And now you see this thing with Jeff Sessions.
Then you get nervous.
Right, you get nervous.
You hear rumors about guns and you get nervous.
Right, right. So the atmosphere in Colorado is free. Recreational to me is for the people. It's freedom, and that's what the United States. They practice that. They preach that. It's freedom.
Supposedly.
So, right, supposedly. So recreational, it should be an option for everybody. Like I say, if a person want to partake in the cannabis plant, they should have the option to. It shouldn't be, oh, you have these ailments, that's the only way you can get access to it. No, because whether it's medicinal or recreational, like I said, it still has medicinal benefits. But coming down in Florida, it's a totally different atmosphere.
Right.
People are still looking over their shoulders. I was in Colorado for 4 years. I'm used to being able to ride around with 2 ounces. It's different. The laws are different. But now I got to scale back because everything's
Scale
you got to scale way
back.
back.
It's like I got too much to lose.
Right.
That's the thing.
He does.
Yeah, a lot to lose. So that's why I'm taking it slow, and it's great to be around individuals like you all that know Florida, know the laws, know the housing, and what to do in the state. Because like I say, I'm still in that mindset of Colorado, but I gotta understand that it's totally different here in Florida. But I believe it'll change, and a lot of people want that change to happen overnight. But it's not going to happen overnight, just because of drastic change causes problems, right? So, like I tell
we know that.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to plan your rollouts.
You got to plan it. You got to plan it, ease into it. Florida is going to be a bright future for Florida and cannabis, in my opinion.
That's good.
It's going to take a couple years.
So Carlos Guillermo Smith introduced a bill to legalize cannabis in Florida.
Yes, he is a strong supporter. Shout out to Representative Carlos Guillermo Smith. Last night he had his fundraiser for his re-election.
Right.
We are
See what I'm talking about.
120% in support of Carlos Guillermo Smith and his re-election campaign. We will back him financially. We will back him on the air, and we will also be in Tallahassee right there next to him as he goes to war for us.
What exactly does the bill say about legalization? What is he doing? What is it?
Well, I to be honest, I haven't read the bill, but I know I know he's pro cannabis. He's pro adult use.
Yeah.
He's a pro responsible use. So it would be reflected within that bill.
Right.
I know him very well. He's been on panels with myself. He spoke at the We Are a Rare Schizencephaly event with Arby. We've had sidebar conversations with him, and he is consistently in support and in touch with the patients and ready to execute. Ready to do whatever, by any means necessary, position legalization in Florida so adults can use marijuana responsibly.
I think that it's actually just basically the same bill that Jeff Clements introduced a few years ago. Okay. So it's very broad, very open market.
Did you read it?
I read Jeff Clements' bill.
You read?
Yeah, I read it.
Damn, you read?
Well, every once in a while.
All right. Just checking.
Before I medicate. Anyway, so it's. What do you think the chances of it passing are? I know Matt Getz is probably.
It all depends. It is an election year. We got to look at who's up for re-election. We need to go visit. I will be. And Danny Purdick from Green Roads as well will be in Tallahassee for the Minorities for Medical Marijuana Lobby Day on the 17th of January.
Right.
I encourage anyone who has the means to get to Tallahassee. A lot of the industry will be there. We will be visiting and having face-to-face talks with the Florida legislation. So that is January 17th starting at 9 a.m.
Nice.
We will all be in Tallahassee. That will move the needle.
Right.
As far as chances of it passing, those conversations that we have, especially if we have representation from across the entire state present, those are the conversations that will move the needle, change things, and make it clear that, listen, if you're not supporting us, we can't support you.
Exactly.
And we need to get someone else standing in your position, sitting in your chair, in your office, picking out new art for your office. That's what we're going to make happen.
Yeah.
I got Robert Dexter here saying he's thanks for joining the show, by the way. He got through playing football on Oxy 30s. So I mean it's right there.
It's there.
Again, that's a short life expectancy.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no way around it. If you play football that way, sooner or later an injury's going to give and you're done.
You're gonna crash.
You know, you're going to crash.
Yeah.
So if you have preventive medicine
Exactly.
or preventive treatments or something to that point, you know, you might be able to last longer
Right.
in this industry of athletics and get to a bigger level, a higher level.
higher level.
You chose not to because you made a decision,
Right.
which is a pretty big decision on your part,
Right.
playing for Colorado State University and knowing that you didn't want to get on all these pills and all these drugs and stuff like that. You chose to medicate and educate.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, so that's huge as a human being.
Right.
And hearing your story in person and just talking to you and just, you know, really getting everything that you went through.
Right.
And the stigma that you probably went through and the people telling you like, what are you, crazy?
Right,
What are you doing,
exactly.
man? Go take that shot and
And
you
keep
know,
playing.
keep playing, make it to
Right.
that next level.
Right.
You know, what pushed you to that edge where you're like, hell no, I'm not doing that. I'm not playing that game. You know, what took you there? Because obviously that you feel you needed to take a couple steps back.
Right.
And now you're going to start taking steps forward.
Right.
You know, so how was that? How did you feel? And what did your family, because family's first,
Right.
and what did your friends think about you saying, you know what, I'm not going that direction?
It was a tough decision, and it all kind of just hit me at once. I had just had my surgery, my own knee surgery, and they had gave me a bottle full of painkillers, and that's what I was supposed to take to come back. They told me it would be 6 weeks. I set that painkiller bottle next to my bed on the nightstand, and every day I would have my boy come from Organic Alternatives and bring me an edible. That's how I medicated and came back. I came back in 4 weeks. Once I came back and I was, you know, trying to come back, but I wasn't 100%, you know, recovered. I can feel the, you know, the pain as I tried to plan it and do things on the field. And I just went to question myself, like, is it really worth it? You know, this going into my senior season, you know, my godfather had just got killed that summer. That's somebody that I really looked up to. He played in the NFL, Ron Moore. So we all wanted to make that same reality, that our dream, that reality.
Right.
But going back to see what he went through, the injuries that he suffered, you know, following the game, and then just you know, doing research and learning about concussions and CTE and traumatic hits, you know, my perspective on the game changed. And just being at that college level, you learn that it's a business. You know, it's
all
not,
business.
It's not the same as when you played in high school where it's the boys, it's fun, you know, you love it. When you get to that level, it's a business. And once I learned that it was a business and it was grimy, I kind of lost the love for the game because now I treat it as such. I treat it as a business. I went there, I did my job good, and then I went home.
Right.
But they couldn't handle that. You know,
Right.
they treated it as a business, but as players, you can't.
Right.
So
And you're not getting paid
you're
during
not
that.
Yeah,
getting
exactly.
paid.
They want you to fall in love with the illusion of, it's not
Exactly.
like a lottery.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly. So
I gotta do more and do more and do more and do more
Right.
and wreck my body.
Right,
Yeah.
but I seen the opportunity, you know, to get in this space, you know, because like I said, I medicated my whole career, but I began to educate myself more on the medicinal values of the plant and how it can help athletes, and that was it was a spark in my brain, like this is it, you know, if we can get cannabis into this space, CBD hemp, if we can get this into this space and it be an alternative medicine for these guys, we can not only help them, like you say, longer lifespans as far as the game goes, but we can help with this epidemic that's going on. So.
And I know you're going to bring some of that conversation to an event coming up February
Right.
3rd. So you want to talk about your involvement in that?
Right. So yeah, February 3rd, we'll be down at the AMPA conference.
Okay.
So that's the American Marijuana Physicians Association, and they're partnering up with some NFL guys, and they're doing a huge conference. Dr. Holtz will be there. Talking about the
Dr. Holtz,
study.
but let's not skip. Dr. Holtz is studying CBD
Yep.
for CTE and concussions.
Right.
So that talks about a lot when
Exactly.
the University of Miami is actually studying. For those who don't
Exactly.
know, are studying action. You can look it up
Right.
if you want to Google it. Google Dr. Holtz, Mrs. Holtz on Google, and you could see exactly the types of studies
Right.
that University of Miami is doing with CBD for
Exactly.
concussions and CTE. Go ahead.
For athletes, and that's huge, so we'll be down there with Dr. Holtz, and there's going to be a lot of other doctors down there, presenting research and studies that they've conducted over the past year. But me and Willis were on the panel, the sports panel, with only two athletes on the panel. We're going to be It'll be Dr. Holtz, Dr. Barry Gordon. He's on the panel as well.
Excellent.
We got Barry always on here too.
Dr.
Yeah.
Gordon. I like he's a great guy. And we're basically just educating the masses. Trying to continue to push the envelope, trying to get cannabis in the space. When I first said, hey, my story first came out, because when I first started playing ball, I didn't tell people really why. It was the injuries. But when my story came out, they seen, he just wanted to stop to smoke weed. That's what they said.
Right.
Well, Ricky Williams, I believe that's
Ricky was Ricky was way ahead of his
He
time.
was way ahead.
He was so way ahead of his time, and I shout out to Ricky. I mean, we've spoken a bunch of times. I know Trey's talking to him. I think everybody here. We've had him on the radio. That man is a genius in my mind.
He's a genius.
And he knows how to live a serenity life. He's very well educated in cannabis and CBD.
Right.
And people that have that type of platform, and I wish Ricky was the type of person that would stand on that platform, but it's just not his personality.
Right.
But we do have people that will be standing on that platform with Trey. We had Willis McGahee on. We have a couple other NFL players and basketball players, and possibly a couple hockey players that are going to be standing up, retired alums of their sport, making sure that they talk about how this has affected them, how this has this helped them.
Right.
But when Ricky was in the league, they demonized him. He's a pothead.
Exactly.
He smokes weed. That's all he does.
Yeah.
It ruined his career.
It ruined his career,
Right.
millions and millions and
targeted him.
millions of dollars.
Right.
And the fact is that he was way ahead of his time.
And when he was on this show, he said, we were like, how do you feel now that this is, there's research and studies showing you were right. And he's like, yeah, I feel redeemed.
Exactly.
Like, I feel redeemed.
He should feel redeemed. He should go back and sue them,
He
actually.
should. He should.
That's what he should do.
Yeah, for his likeliness.
Absolutely, he should.
And February 3rd, we're also bringing a lot of this conversation. There are 2 conferences going on. We got to shout out Florida Cannabis Coalition as well.
Right. Yep.
And we're going to be having similar conversations. So how great is it in the conservative state of Florida, we have coverage of cannabis happening at 2 conferences in Miami on the same day, Super Bowl weekend.
Right. Yeah,
where
buddy.
athletes will have the opportunity to talk about cannabis and how it's helping them, and the opportunity to lengthen careers, and cannabis being available as an alternative to opiates. So that's a huge victory for us.
That's huge. Yeah. That's
I
huge.
can't wait.
Are they going to let me go to that thing? Am I going to go to that
Yeah,
thing?
you have to
course.
come with me. Come with
You're
me.
welcome.
Don't go with Trey. Arby will go with Trey, and you'll come with
All
me.
right, cool.
You're welcome.
That sounds good. Hey, we also want to remind people about Arby's mail sack.
Why?
Because we
Because
want
he's infatuated
we
with the
want
sacks.
people to ask questions about cannabis.
Okay,
You gotta
that makes
explain
sense.
that.
Arby's
You
mail
gotta,
sack. Oh,
you gotta
okay.
explain that.
I forget about
you gotta
that.
be
People
like,
don't
hey,
know.
mail sack, ask
Okay,
questions,
all right,
not
okay.
just let's talk
That's
about
like-
Arby's
okay.
mail sack
All right, let's-
on
All right,
Facebook.
let's start all over. Arby's mail sack is everybody's favorite part of the show. It's
Everybody's.
Yeah, everybody except for Cheryl. It's basically you write your comment, write your question on Facebook, or send it to us, email it to us, and we read your question on the air and find out the answer for you.
And we're gonna start having actual polls on this on this show, where we actually have polls on where you feel. We've been trying to pick a fight with somebody. We're not physical fight.
Oh.
The fact is that we've been trying to get somebody that's actually against what legalization of recreational cannabis should look like.
Right.
So for those who are on our Facebook and follow us or are listening to us, we're not going to, put you out there. But the fact is that we're looking for somebody to join us here at the studio and find out, what their opinions are. Because obviously we're pro cannabis, we're pro CBD, we're
but it
pro
should be
plant.
somebody that's, not somebody's grandma or something. It should be somebody with some position of power that we want.
I would love somebody.
No,
I don't think they.
You
I
don't
have
care?
the
You don't care who it is.
Anyone who's-
I could
who
tell
has
you
a
right
difference
now.
of opinion.
Yeah, there you go. But I don't think they got the cojones to come on this show.
No.
Wow.
They'll get ate up.
So it's a challenge. We got to
Get
find
the
people that
smackdown.
hate the idea of legalized cannabis, and we want to put them on the air. We're not going to, berate them or whatever.
We'll
just
give
wanna-
you prizes. We'll pay for your gas.
There you go. We'll
Come
pay
to
for
the
the
hot
gas,
seat.
buy you coffee. We have donuts. Somebody
day.
brought Chick-fil-A, some
we have-
cookies.
yeah.
We'll bring them in. Matter of fact, you tell me, I will
Lemonade.
send you an Uber. You don't even have to drive.
Yeah, if you're in somewhere
We'll
in
send
South
you an
Florida,
Uber.
we'll come
and
pick you up.
Pick you up.
Like Hertz, or what is it? Hertz or
No,
Enterprise?
no.
Enterprise?
I'm gonna put them on an Uber.
There you go.
We'll get them on an Uber, make them, get them down here comfortable so they could think about what they're gonna tell us.
Right.
And then at the same time we could just get that rolling. So,
that's good.
so I think we're gonna
That's a
go.
good idea.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, you came up with something good, Arby.
Once in a while I could do that.
All right, we got to take a break. You are currently tuned to Cannabis Life Radio, brought to you by Green Roads World.
You hesitated. You're trying to trip me up.
Green Roads World is recognized as one of the world's leading suppliers of CBD products, and Cannabis Life Radio is giving away Green Road CBD products every week. To join, just tune in on our Facebook Live broadcast every Saturday morning at 10 and follow the instructions on air and in the comment section. Cannabis Life Radio is teaming up with Green Roads World to give you free CBD. Good luck from Cannabis Life Radio and Green Roads World.
Across the state to across the country, the Hemp Kings is your online home for hemp oil products. From organic hemp oil to intense concentrates, there is only one name you need to remember. The Hemp Kings.
The Hemp Kings.
Our hemp cream pain blaster lotions uses natural essential oils to deliver hemp's natural pain reliever directly to the site of inflammation for long-lasting relief. Now, our Pain Blaster Hemp Cream has now gone to the extreme.
Extreme?
Extreme!
Extreme!
New Pain Blaster Extreme Cream delivers even more relief, even faster! The best hemp products at the best prices delivered anywhere in the continental U.S. TheHempKings.com!
TheHempKings.com.
As a loving pet owner, you want to treat your senior dog for dysplasia, neuropathy, and joint discomfort with minimal traditional chemical medication. And as loving pet owners, we at King Canine agree, and we're excited to make our signature CBD line available to you. Derived from all-natural cannabidiol compounds, lab-tested, non-GMO, plant-based, cutting-edge King Calm CBD reduces inflammation and discomfort naturally, and even reduces anxiety from fireworks and thunderstorms. Go to KingCanine.com, that's KingKanine for details, and browse a full line of products like King Comb De-Shedder, King Calm Balm, and King Clean Shampoo for pet wellness inside and out. Order now using the code BARK20 for an exclusive 20% discount. KingKanine.com, King Calm CBD, and the rest of our natural cannabidiol products. King Canine, for natural pet wellness inside and out.
Florida Home Grow is the state's #1 seller of hemp oil products. Stop by and check out their organic hemp oil, capsules, and pain-killing topical lotions. Enjoy a complimentary cup of fresh organic coffee when checking out our beautiful showroom. Florida Home Grow also carries unique hemp items like jewelry, soaps, clothing, and accessories. Don't forget to try refreshing natural lemonade or delicious ice cream sandwiches. Florida Home Grow is conveniently located on Lake Worth Road between Jog and the Turnpike. We're the #1 sellers of hemp oil products because our stuff works.
This is the radio show people talk about all week long. This is Cannabis Life Radio.
Please don't scream while we're doing the live radio broadcast. Thank you.
That's just his personality.
Welcome to Cannabis Life Radio, Florida's original cannabis radio program. I'm Leon Hamilton, along with R.B. Barroso and Cheryl Murray Powell, and soon to be another very special guest who's going to come running in here. Any moment.
Yep.
Hi, everyone. We're back.
We're back, and we got so passionate about everything else that we're doing that we try to stay on cue on
Right.
what we want to speak to the audience. And again, we apologize if we get off track and stuff like that. But we're really talking about, obviously, the Jeff Sessions issue and the regulations and Florida and how you could actually make Florida a regulated state where we could, decriminalize, which is really our goal, is decriminalizing the plant itself.
Stop throwing people in jail.
Stop throwing people in jail. And again, that's a problem because you got rogue cops and you got certain departments or certain counties that still don't believe in this, and they just want to make sure that that's a target. Right. And once they start making that an example and it comes out on TV or anything like that, it just sets us back. Instead of moving forward, it sets us back. So the fact is that we're asking people to go to Regulate Florida, fill out a petition, because if we don't fill out the petition, the fact is that we're not going to have any type of regulation on cannabis. And we're not saying regulated because we don't want regulated, is to regulate it like alcohol.
Right.
So people could get it, go
It's not
and
to
consume
restrict
it. Exactly.
Because regulate Florida sounds like you're going to restrict the use of cannabis, but it's exactly the opposite.
Completely the opposite. So we need people to go to that site.
RegulateFlorida.com. Go on www.regulateflorida.com. We've sent the petition by email to all of our stores. True Leaf has the petition in all their stores. We want to shout out William Medina, Karen Goldstein, Michael Minardi, Karima, all the people
Mr. John Morgan, who actually raised millions of dollars.
Yes.
Whether you agree with him politically, whether you agree with him as a person, the fact is that this man took the time to raise and get the petitions to even get amendment on the
If it weren't for him,
ballot.
we wouldn't be here.
We wouldn't even have.
Whether we like him or
we
not.
would be here, but we wouldn't have what we have today implemented, so we can move this, forward.
That's true.
So
Right.
he's
without the funding.
Without the funding.
There was a collaborative effort by a lot of groups, but money does make a difference, and petitioners have to get paid. So and there needs to be publicity around it. So
Yep.
I wouldn't give any one person credit for us.
Well,
being
he's the
here,
one
but
that-
he was a huge financial backer
Absolutely.
that got us to this day. So that's really important. I saw images on Karima's page and Normal's page of them counting petitions. There's a lot of work that's involved in order to. They need about 60,000.
They got to verify
petitions.
everything.
They got to verify.
They got to verify everything.
It needs to be actual voters. They have to verify that they're actual voters.
That they're alive. They have to make sure they're alive.
Well, that's a problem in voting. Period.
Yeah.
Yes, that they're actually alive. They have
I
to
know
be
a lot
from
of dead
one
people
of
that are voting
Still
still
voting.
nowadays.
Yep.
the
happens.
districts. They have to at least 14 of Florida's 27 congressional districts. Takes about 60,000 petitions to get Supreme Court review, and then they need 766,200 signatures to get actually on the ballot, or 8% of the voters in the 2016 election.
Which is crazy.
Wow.
So that it's a lot. It's an upward climb, but we can do it. We did it before. We can do it again.
I mean, we had 6 million. We had 6 million people that voted yes on this amendment.
But
there's
another effort besides Regulate Florida, correct? There's the one that's using the state's constitution to ensure people the right to choose cannabis as a personal right, correct? That's the name.
There is another petition, and we advocate if you sign both petitions,
Right.
don't choose one over the other. Right. So if you see the Regulate Florida petition, sign it. If you see the other petition, sign it. But also go on regulateflorida.com and download and do not assume that any petition will do. You can do one or the other. We need you to do both.
Yep.
Because
Take
that's very
5
important.
minutes of your freaking day and just get the thing signed already.
Yeah, but don't sign it multiple times. Don't do multiple.
Just make sure you guys just go on there. I mean, we're not asking much. We're asking you to go to 2 sites.
You're very angry today, Artie.
I am angry because this whole thing is just makes no sense to me. So
It'll be all right. I'm
the
telling
fact
you,
is
it's going to
that
be all right.
everybody's always on their phone. Everybody's always on the computer.
Right.
Everybody's always FaceTime, Facebook, Instagram,
Make time for
Snapchat,
that.
Right.
all kinds of stuff. Go on for 5 minutes. Go to the site, fill out the application, submit it.
Yeah.
Takes 5 minutes. That's all it takes. 5 minutes of your day.
And one thing, speaking of Facebook, one thing that Leon came across was a story of an assisted living facility and their inability or resistance to giving people alternative medicine. We faced that for some time. I've spoken I've spoken to guardians. I've spoken to at assisted living facilities, encouraging people to look at CBD as an alternative, so we don't have these people in nursing homes being zombies or inactive. I've shared my personal story as far as my grandmother. My mom and my aunt go to take care of her a few times a week. And she, for about 5-6 years, she hasn't stood up. She's been in a wheelchair, hasn't stood up. We started giving her CBD probably about 6 months ago. Now she can stand up on her own.
Wow.
She had a hand that was, where it was kind of like closed and arthritic, so she couldn't move it. Now the mobility to her hand has been restored. So that's just a true verifiable story within my family. Yes, it's anecdotal, but that's just the only change that was made.
But there's
was
a lot of
CBD.
anecdotal. That's the problem, Cheryl. There's everybody goes back to that. It's anecdotal.
Right.
It can't be true. It's
But
anecdotal.
the fact is
Right.
that we're here because people continue to purchase Green Road CBD,
Right.
hemp-derived CBD. So we need the full plant to be
Right.
available to people because that just doesn't help with everything. It's a nutrition. So some people need that THC, and they should not be told when or how they should be able to medicate that. So that's when you asked Trey earlier about the flower, that's the difference. So if we don't go on and sign, we're going to need 766,200 signatures, okay? And with that, we could actually regulate cannabis like alcohol. So again, we had over 6 million people vote yes on it. We're only asking for 20% of the people that voted for this to sign this petition. So hand it, have a party. Who cares? Have everybody over for playoff weekend. You got NFL playoffs coming up,
That's
you know,
a
for
good
the next
idea.
3 weeks. Then you have the
There
Pro
you go.
Bowl, and you got the Super Bowl. Everybody gathers for these types of events.
That's right.
Everybody gathers. All right. So if you have 20 people in your house, before they walk in your house, take off their shoes and watch your TV to watch the game. I guarantee you, if you force somebody
Right.
to sign that petition before they could watch the game,
Or before they could have a beer.
or before they
Absolutely.
could have
Or chicken wing.
a
Ain't
beer,
no thing but a chicken wing.
or take
Or
you know,
buffalo
or
chicken-
There you
medicate
go.
chicken dip.
Yeah.
or medicate it on its own.
No guac.
You know, you don't medicate. You want to medicate? Sign this piece
You
of
have
paper.
to sign this Regulate Florida petition
that's how
before you
big
can
one
enjoy
we're
the
gonna be.
Super Bowl. That's the way to do
So,
it.
Leon, tell us about that specific story that caught your attention with
Well,
Burt Green.
what was going on with the story is what got me was the fact that there's absolutely no education as far as these nursing homes in Florida about their ability. These people that are sick and are already qualified to get their medical cards, there's nobody telling these people that they can get them or how to get them. And they're
Yeah,
actually
because they get more money from Medicaid and Medicare.
Right. They're trying to actually keep people from knowing their information and knowing that they have the right to get cannabis, and that's part of the problem, I think. And it's got my wheels turning. I'm trying to figure out a way to get into these nursing homes and these not just nursing homes, but the rehab centers where they send senior citizens to recover from surgery and
Yeah.
stuff. If they these people were educated about CBD products, not even just the THC products, but even just the CBD products, these people can make faster recoveries and get back home.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the things that we're doing actually on Tuesday. On Tuesday, we'll be on America TV, Channel 41. It's a Spanish. We've been there probably about 4 or 5 times. And we are educating the Latin community. Because the Latin community has extremely a lot of stigma. So Maria from one of the shows that we've been on there, talking about cannabis and what we need to do and stuff like that for the Spanish community. We will be there this Tuesday, Channel 41. We will be there talking to the Spanish community about what they need to do. Because once we reach out to them, you have a bunch of ALFs all over the place in Miami in the 305.
Right.
So if their family starts, their youngers or the people that visit them
Right.
hear this and start, hey, I want to give this to my mom.
Right. And
I want to
start
give this
talking
to
to
my
the
dad and
nurses.
start talking to the nurse and force it
Yeah.
down their throat
Yeah.
because they're not going to do it any other way because they get a big fat paycheck from Medicare to take care of these
Right.
people
And to feed them pills.
to feed them, and all they do is feed them pills,
Yep.
leave them there looking like zombies.
Make
They're
them go
staring
to
up-
sleep.
They're
That's
staring
all they
up.
want.
They're staring up at the ceiling and stuff like that. So we will be on TV with Maria with
That is awesome.
on Tuesday at 2:30. So pay attention to that.
You got to put that on somewhere because we
We're
don't
gonna
get
have,
Channel
yeah, we're
41
gonna have it.
here.
Our guys are gonna have it there. So just pay attention. Talk to your doctors. If you have a family member that's in one of these homes and all they want to do is just give them pills and pills and pills, and you walk in and you're trying to have a conversation with your loved ones and all they're doing is just staring at the ceiling, start looking for a different alternative because there's a very short amount of lifespan that's left in that person that you love, and the last thing you want to do is just look at somebody that's just laying there in bed. You want to have those conversations. You want to ask them, hey, how was your life? I love you. You want a response back. And if they're on these pills and passed out, you're not going to get any
Right.
response.
They don't say anything.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
So whatever.
No, I think that's absolutely right. And that's what my mom's doing at my grandma's nursing home is, she's starting to have meetings and show them the results and insist that in addition to the days that she's there, that the staff also apply the pain cream and give the sublingual oil. So
Yeah.
It's working. I mean, we have people coming into our office all the time. We had a gentleman last night, Juan, who came by where his grandmother is at Mount Sinai. I won't disclose too much about what his family, because he's not here. But the fact is that he's talking to the oncologist at that hospital. She's gone through radiation. I don't know what exactly we're saying, but he was doing chemo, and her chemo levels were up to 1,800, and now after just over a six week period, it's down to 600. And he's never seen the chemo work so quick. So all he could say is it has to be with the CBD.
Right.
He has no other answer to this question. So he continues to give it to his grandmother, and now this head oncologist of this major hospital is like, I want to start giving it to others.
Right.
So that's very important when you got high people in high places that are doctors that are treating cancer patients, now seeing the results, because these patients are in the hospital and they're seeing them get better.
Yeah.
A little bit quicker. It's not an all heal, but the fact is that they are getting a little bit better, and they're not all drugged up, which is really at the end when somebody's gonna pass. I mean, there's no way around it. Your loved ones are gonna go. We here,
Right.
we're gone.
Right.
It is what it is. But at least to have that conversation, that one-on-one conversation, is so important. And those are the memories that you really hold on to when they pass.
Yeah.
Those are the memories. Those are the conversations that you really remember with them when you're sitting down with them, holding their hand, and they're in a hospital bed.
Yeah.
But as long as you could talk to them, if you got them drugged up, there's nothing. What can you say?
And that's
what
just
can
too
you do?
sad, because then you can't, you don't have any. That is what you're going to remember, and that's
Right.
not what you want to remember.
No, that's exactly what you don't want to
Yeah.
remember. You don't want to go through life looking at somebody and then you see them like that, and that's all the picture that you remember.
Yep.
And that's
not
sad.
good. That's not
Yeah.
good. Don't
You want to introduce our guest?
Yeah.
I want you to introduce our guest, sir.
I'll let Cheryl introduce our
All
guest.
right.
There we go.
I'll
There we
catch
go.
that
We're gonna get
baton
ready for a round of
every
applause here.
day.
It's very important.
I am very pleased to welcome into the studio Jose Belen.
Yes.
He is a soldier in
at all the people
so
taking
many
pictures.
ways. I've said that on Facebook, I think
Yeah.
last night or this morning, and I continue to emphasize that.
Shout out for sure.
A
Shout
tremendous
True
amount
hero.
of respect for him. He is. I'm going to let him speak towards the lawsuit against Jeff Sessions. He's one of the plaintiffs.
Yes.
He's doing some interesting, non-traditional things to raise awareness about cannabis, specifically an event coming up on February 3rd. He had an interesting conversation this week with a certain individual that I have an opinion on, so we can talk about that as well.
Nice. I know who it is.
When she says an opinion on,
Yeah.
there's,
Yes.
We
you
already
know
know.
there's
I
something
have an
hidden under
opinion.
there.
I have an
already know who
opinion.
it
So
is.
Jose, welcome.
Welcome,
Tell-
Jose.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you for your service, my man.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Thank you for your service, and you're everywhere right now. I just got to say.
Everywhere. Every time I open Facebook, there you are, sir.
Right.
The mission's first, and it's important to use any platform that I have to support
Right.
what we're doing. So thank you guys again.
Yeah. Definitely.
How is that going? Listen, I remember when we were in Jamaica.
Right.
We had some pretty deep conversations
Yes.
when we were there, and I remember you even talking about it and really making it, finally actually making it and calling it Mission Zero. Can you explain to the people that are looking at and are listening to us what is Mission Zero?
Absolutely. I started Mission Zero as an organization to end veteran suicide. At the end of the day, we're losing 22 veterans a day. I firmly believe that number is higher. So my ultimate goal is to one day zero that number out.
Yeah.
The mission will never stop,
Right.
until it happens, even if I'm not here anymore.
You'll be able to
You
pass
ain't
the
going anywhere,
baton.
mister.
And you're
The
not
vision
you're
never
not
dies.
alone. Know that
So-
we fight along with you.
Yeah.
And we support Mission Zero. You guys, you want to talk about what you did on Veterans Day with True Leave?
Absolutely. True Leave and I partnered
And I don't
up
mean to
together.
interrupt, but explain who True Leaf is, because there's a lot of people that still really don't even know
Absolutely.
that there's
Yeah.
dispensaries here that you could actually go and get
Yeah.
a red
Sure.
card and Medicaid. So can you go a little bit into
Absolutely.
Kim Rivers and True Leaf?
Absolutely. True Leave is one of the main dispensaries here in the state of Florida who is, truly putting veterans first. We developed an amazing relationship, and on Veterans Day, we went ahead and went full force, welcomed veterans to 2 locations, and just really brought them in to give them that experience that they deserve. A dispensary walking into a True Leave I liken it to a spa, a very professional environment. a place where as soon as you walk in, your guard goes down, and that's extremely important for veterans. So on Veterans Day, we did it right, welcoming veterans as soon as they walked in.
That's awesome.
I got donuts too and a shirt.
Nice.
Engaging with them, you know, as much as we can. Took them to the side sometimes, and they opened right up, because ultimately a lot of veterans suffer in silence.
Right.
And it's important for, you know, that to stop as well. So Veterans Day was incredible.
Fantastic.
I mean, what you're doing is commending.
Thank you.
And where you've gone from when we were at Jamaica to where you're at today. I know that Montel Williams really helps and really puts you on that stage,
Yes.
but really you're the story.
Yeah.
So it's giving you that platform, and then you're taking off with that platform. And I see your wife has joined you a lot now with this mission, which is very important to have your significant other, because they also suffer when, you know, our veterans come back. The families suffer with that veteran, and that's really important for her and for your family to understand. Can you get a little bit about first what you go through, and what does it do for you when you medicate, and how does it help?
Well, for me, my PTSD battle is going on almost 14 years. So for 14 years, it's just been a constant fight each and every day. You know, I went through the standard VA protocols with medicine, and unfortunately, every time we did that, pushed me actually closer to suicide as a result of the side effects. So having access to cannabis has allowed me to just function as a human being.
Right.
Has nothing to do with getting high or anything like that. It actually has to do with being able to have an amazing relationship with my wife and my kids. So cannabis has essentially been one of the main proponents that's helped me be here, you know.
That's awesome.
And not end my life, absolutely.
So, do you want to share a little bit about what's going on with the lawsuit? I know the first time you were here, you couldn't talk about it. Then there was the announcement, and then as we've been, I know you've been responding to some filings and things like that. This week there was some news that was circulated. So you want to talk about, share what you can about your lawsuit?
Absolutely. So the lawsuit was filed in July, and we've kept it under wraps for the most part because we didn't want to get too ahead of ourselves. The great news is the government filed their final motion to dismiss the lawsuit on the 29th of December, and the judge actually requested an oral argument in federal court. So myself and all my plaintiffs will be there basically waiting for the judge to hopefully rule in our favor. If that happens, this will be the first time in American history.
Monumental.
First time in American history that a lawsuit challenging the CSA goes past this point.
Wow.
So on Valentine's Day, hopefully the love
I'll be there.
will be in the air. You know,
Vegas will be there.
we
saw
are
them posting.
asking for as much support as possible.
Where can they go to support this mission? Because this is probably in the top 1 and 2
Yeah.
of what needs to get done
Amen.
for people to first help Mission Zero, because we shouldn't be losing 22 veterans a day to suicide. That's not out there on any news station talking about it ever, about, you know, how many veterans commit suicide on a daily amount. Where can they go to help you?
As far as support-wise, we ask as many to be in New York City with us
Absolutely.
as possible that day. If we can start the day with a veteran rally, and I 100% ask for everything to be peaceful.
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah. Well,
Definitely.
it's Valentine's Day, so it's going to be
It's going to be a lot of hearts out there.
a lot of love from the cannabis industry out there.
You know, I feel that God is in our corner, as is, you know, America.
God bless.
At the end of the day, veteran suicide has to end, but also the suffering of the other millions of Americans, the children, the cancer patients. So,
Right.
yeah.
And I think it starts there. I mean, people pay attention to veterans. You know, I mean, you guys have sacrificed a lot for many different reasons, whether good, bad, and different. People will agree or don't agree. The fact is that you're doing a job, just like a police officer was doing a job,
Yes.
firefighters doing their job. That was a job to you. The fact is after that job that you've served, you shouldn't have to continue to suffer
Right.
in that direction. So I think that actually almost sets the tone for the rest of the United States and
Absolutely.
everything else. So that's a really big step. And that's why we're here to support in any which way we can to make sure that we could get as many people out there. What can we do? How many people we could reach out to? Because people's hearts open up to veterans, and we need to make sure they continue to open up to give you guys access.
Absolutely.
And make sure that you guys have a better life than suffering with PTSD and affecting your families.
Well, thank you for that, because one of the main things that I speak on is the war that we're fighting every day. Just because I'm not in Iraq anymore, my brothers and sisters are not in Afghanistan, doesn't mean we're not battling a psychological war every day. And we're losing the war clearly.
Right.
And that's the issue with the scheduling. The government knows that these suicides are happening. We know we're in the middle of an opiate crisis.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, you know, if you're for the people, be there for your people.
Yeah.
You know, and as far as support, social media, anything, you know, that anyone, you know, can do to support Mission Zero, share, you know, this as much as possible, because at the end of the day, the goal is to just end as much suffering as possible nationwide with this movement, if not worldwide.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I
We're
agree.
glad you could be here. Tell us what you have planned for February 3rd.
Absolutely. So February 3rd, I'm proud to announce that we're doing a black tie gala in North Miami. That gala is bringing the leading industry leaders, basically politicians, regulators, physicians, researchers, athletes, the ones who are what I call at the tip of the spear. Okay, the event we're actually labeling it the spear of influence, because leading from the front is what has to happen. So my goal is to have all these leading individuals together, breaking bread together, and just really sitting down and putting patients first, to have the regulators there, the physicians there, everyone that's potentially can hold up the other, to put politics to the side,
Right.
all the red tape to the side, and really put patients first, because at the end of the day, all this red tape, okay, all this infighting has to stop
Yeah.
Yeah.
to really put the patients first. So we're doing a full dinner with Montel Williams has been invited. We
Nice.
have a full celebrity cast, and also special guests coming in. Sean Kiernan from Weed for Warriors is flying in.
Okay.
Marvin Washington will be there as well. It's going to be something that has never been done before.
I'm looking forward to
in
it.
the industry, and obviously you guys.
You know, we'll be there. I saw that text yesterday. Trust me,
Yeah.
we're rounding up the soldiers.
Well, it's going to be done right. It's going to be done right, because at the end of the day, the message has to, you know, resonate and
Absolutely.
get out there. So February 3rd is going to be a pretty incredible evening. It is open to the public. We are going to be releasing the ticket links and the social media campaigns here
Okay.
shortly.
If someone's interested in the sponsorship deck, how can they get a? I know I got mine yesterday, so.
Absolutely. If you're
Yeah.
interested, feel free to reach out to us via email. You can email my wife, Danielle, DANIELLE, @missionzero.com, and zero is
Okay.
actually spelled out. We are asking for direct donations.
And we'll actually have that on our site, on Sea Life Radio. We'll also be carrying that on Green Roads World to reach out to the 1.5 million people that visit our site, to make sure that we get as much attention drawn to that event as possible, so we could push this forward
Yeah.
Absolutely.
as much as we can. So you definitely have our full support on that.
100%.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Awesome. Do you want to talk about your encounter this week with one?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
This is
Suspect.
going to be great.
This
I'm
is
ready.
Rich
I'm
guy.
ready.
I'm waiting to see what happened here.
I'm ready. Go ahead.
So my ultimate goal is to reach as many people as possible within the political ranks, if I have to, social ranks. I don't look at their titles. What I do look at as the potential that they have to look at me as a human being, not the color of my skin, and understand that we can do something together for the greater good. So I was invited yesterday to the Tiger Bay Club in Orlando to listen to Mr. Roger Stone. And
maybe he's talking to Trump. Hopefully.
well, with that,
Yeah, he's been talking to him for a long time. We're going backwards.
Well,
apparently.
The reason this sit down happened because as soon as he got up to the podium, he addressed, that was the first issue right there, what Jeff Sessions did. And he actually expressed his disdain for
disgust.
And yeah, it was pretty, he kept it very real as far as his stance. And I was shocked at that. And so I, you know, networked my way and asked if we can have a sit down. He mentioned the lawsuit and support. So we sat down together and just had a very real one-on-one conversation in regards to what's happening with veterans, this lawsuit, how important it is. Because if I can reach Donald Trump, I will sit down with him, not, you know, for any political gain. I'm not a politician.
Right.
It would just be as a veteran speaking to the commander-in-chief of this country and saying, sir, can we please have some support to end this war that we're fighting every day? We have $1 billion arms budget. Are you willing to give us a percentage of that, please, to help us stop this? And that's what I expressed to Mr. Stone, and they go back 40 years. And he was in full support. He's in full support of the lawsuit. And again, I made it clear that it's not a political move on my behalf.
Right.
We're on the
I'll
same
give
boat.
you my thoughts.
We'll be there on March 26th at one of his events at Mar-a-Lago.
Yes.
So we'll be there. Obviously in the same support with you. It's not political. It's the fact of healing and helping people that really need this. And to help stop the opiate epidemic that he's up and said millions of times that he's against, and he's trying to do something against it.
Right.
Well, this is a way out.
It's the way to do it.
It's a way out. It's a way out of that addiction.
I want to chime in.
Oh,
my
boy.
Let's put the politics aside.
Let's put it aside.
Let's put the politics aside. I sit down with Republicans, Libertarians, Democrats all the time. I sit down with people of various faiths. I always have a love you, Jesse, the family, Laura, Jimmy, Danny, the whole crew. However, when you're looking at a person who has a history of being a racist and they have not acknowledged that past and they have not apologized for it.
He said one thing to one guy. I looked it up.
It's not one thing.
I looked it up. That's the only thing that I've ever.
It's more than one thing to one guy. It is multiple incidents, and it's also the policy that he was a part of, which was contributed to the war on drugs under various presidents.
He was
time.
selling
Okay,
drugs.
but I'm going to go in this direction.
Wait,
I'm going to say Valentine's. I'm going to call Valentine's. The fact is that as long as people make mistakes.
I express my thought without being
people.
Let me finish my thought.
All right. We can go there.
I rarely say, let me finish my thought. But this time, let me finish my thought.
We're going to go there.
Someone who has a past of making racial comments, and they do not acknowledge that, and they do not, they don't apologize for that, and then they're trying to inject themselves in the cannabis industry under the narrative that I have the ear of the president, but after a year of having the ear of the president, they've not come back with anything saying this is what the president said when I spoke to him. That's suspect to me.
That 100% I believe.
I
agree with you.
I agree with you on that.
So I get invited to things. I have the ear of Arby Barroso, but I'm not Arby Barroso. So I don't make decisions for Arby Barroso. However, having the ear of Arby Barroso and someone tells me something that they want to get to Arby Barroso, I say, Arby, this is what this person told me. And Arby says, yes, or Arby says no. Then I go back to the person and say, Arby said yes, Arby said no. It's simple. If you are influential, then use your influence.
No.
Don't tag along with an industry that's fueled by activists and passionate people and patients, and then sidebar on it, and then you're not coming back with anything. If you have the ear of the most powerful man in the world, and you never come back with anything from that most powerful man in the world, you are suspect. And you are utilizing these people who work hard, like Jose Belen. Of course, I was so infuriated between last night and tonight because I love Jose. Yeah. And I stand by everything that he's doing, support everything he's doing. And then you see this hanger-on who's bringing nothing to the table except narrative, saying that, and taking pictures with him. I take offense to that. He needs to get himself right. He needs to bring something to the table and say, based on what Sessions said, I spoke to my bestie Trump, and he's saying we're going in this direction, or he said no. He said he supports Sessions, but come back with something rather than your disgust if that's someone you have the ear of.
You've just been called out.
All right, we got to take a break, and somebody needs to splash some water in Cheryl's face, please. You are currently tuned to Cannabis Life Radio, brought to you by Green Roads World.
You can hang out.
As a loving pet owner, you want to treat your senior dog for dysplasia, neuropathy, and joint discomfort with minimal traditional chemical medication. And as loving pet owners, we at King Canine agree, and we're excited to make our signature CBD line available to you. Derived from all-natural cannabidiol compounds, lab-tested, non-GMO, plant-based, cutting-edge King Calm CBD reduces inflammation and discomfort naturally, and even reduces anxiety from fireworks and thunderstorms. Go to KingCanine.com. That's KingKanine for details. And browse a full line of products like King Calm De-Shedder, King Calm Balm, and King Clean Shampoo for pet wellness inside and out. Order now using the code BARK20 for an exclusive 20% discount. KingKanine.com. King Calm CBD and the rest of our natural cannabidiol products. King Canine for natural pet wellness inside and out.
Across the state to across the country, the Hemp Kings is your online home for hemp oil products. From organic hemp oil to intense concentrates, there is only one name you need to remember. The Hemp Kings.
The Hemp Kings.
Our Hemp Cream Pain Blaster lotions uses natural essential oils to deliver hemp's natural pain reliever directly to the site of inflammation for long-lasting relief. Now, our Pain Blaster Hemp Cream has now gone to the extreme.
Extreme?
Extreme!
Extreme!
New Pain Blaster Extreme Cream delivers even more relief, even faster! The best hemp products at the best prices delivered anywhere in the continental U.S. TheHempKings.com!
TheHempKings.com.
Green Roads World is recognized as one of the world's leading suppliers of CBD products, and Cannabis Life Radio is giving away Green Roads CBD products every week. To join, just tune in on our Facebook Live broadcast every Saturday morning at 10 and follow the instructions on air and in the comment section. Cannabis Life Radio is teaming up with Green Roads World to give you free CBD. Good luck from Cannabis Life Radio and Green Roads World.
Florida Home Grow is the state's #1 seller of hemp oil products. Stop by and check out their organic hemp oil, capsules, and pain-killing topical lotions. Enjoy a complimentary cup of fresh organic coffee when checking out our beautiful showroom. Florida Home Grow also carries unique hemp items like jewelry, soaps, clothing, and accessories. Don't forget to try refreshing natural lemonade or delicious ice cream sandwiches. Florida Home Grow is conveniently located on Lake Worth Road between Jog and the Turnpike. We're the #1 sellers of hemp oil products because our stuff works.
Nobody covers cannabis news like Cannabis Life Radio. Nobody.
Nobody but you, R.B. Barroso. I hear a lot of people yelling my name, and we're on the air.
We are?
Yeah, we're on the air.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome
They had
to
to wet me down.
Yeah, we had to wet you down.
I was hot.
You were a little
I
hot.
wouldn't say that. That sounds a little sexual.
Oh, yeah, none of that. None of that.
Meow.
Keep it clean, Arby.
Yeah.
Keep it
Clean. I'm
clean,
trying.
Jeez.
Welcome to Cannabis Life
We
Radio.
got to do as much whatever we
X-rated
can do
version of it,
until we
apparently.
go into the actual radio station in the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
So for
Yeah.
those who posted, that guy that posted earlier, we should go back to 850 WFTL. By the way, guys,
Boing.
we're gonna have our own station in the next 2 weeks
Meow.
with our own green room. So
Yeah.
that's gonna be coming at you, boys and girls.
Pretty crazy. Wow.
Absolutely.
By the
Forward
way,
to that. But we love it here, too.
We love
Yeah,
it
we
here.
love it
Don't
here.
get me wrong. I mean, we're in a gorgeous location.
Just you can't tell where it is.
We can't say where it is
Shh.
yet. There's the freaking stigma.
It's-
You know what I'm saying? That's the problem. You know, don't say what it is. We're on Cannabis.
Oh, you can't
you
say
know,
that.
so
though. You don't say that. Don't say anything.
we could say what? Where is it?
No,
at?
don't say
We
that.
can't say the Brooklyn Cafe.
Really?
All right, so we're at Brooklyn Cafe. There
Oh
we
my
go.
goodness, we're going to be in so much trouble.
Oh boy.
Google
Wow, you're
it.
gonna be
Ay
in so much
mi
trouble.
madre.
Seriously. By the way, this is Cannabis Life Radio. I'm Leon Hamilton. Along with Arby Barroso and Cheryl Murray Powell.
Yes, and Jose Belen's here. He's going to hang out with us. So I want to give him the opportunity to respond to my comments because his heart's so in the right place. So I want you to hear from the man himself.
I'll make it brief. I stand for many things. One of the things I stand for is unity, the unity of this country and the world, irregardless of color. My hope is that one day we can all look at each other and look past the skin color the same way we look at the eye color as nothing.
Yeah.
And so in regards to my sit down with Roger Stone, it is my first attempt to unite this divide within this country. Again, I'm not a politician. I'm here for the people, by the people, a voice of the voiceless. I've said that from day one. So for me, any opportunity I can get with someone that's influential, that he has the chance to change his stance. And as a Latino man, a proud Puerto Rican, I stood before him and I asked for direct support and, in regards to the lawsuit, and he gave me his word. So
And what type of support should we expect from Mr. Stone?
I don't know yet.
What does support look like to Mr. Stone?
Ooh, Cheryl's
Here we
coming
go.
in.
Here we go again.
Here we go. Do you got? Who's got the water?
Yeah, get that white
Somebody
water
call
ready.
the water.
I got some.
There you go.
So
Mine's
we'll
got
have to see
tea in
it.
it.
All right. Well, listen. I'm going
I've
to call
never seen
somebody
it.
out right now saying say no to drugs. I mean,
There we
cannabis
go.
is not a drug.
Can we get that person in here?
Where do you need
Say
to
no
fly
to
in from
drugs.
Stacey Corman? You've been called out. The fact is that it's not
Oh, my
a
goodness.
drug.
Yeah.
Okay. Alcohol is a drug. Cigarettes are a drug. That kills people. And if you go and Google it, find out how many people die due to alcoholism, cigarettes, and everything else that's attached to it.
Compared
And
to
when you look
cannabis.
at cannabis, it's zero. Big
Zilch.
fat zero.
Right.
So say no to drugs. I agree. Say no to heroin. Say no to coke. Say no to
alcohol, tobacco.
crystal, tobacco, alcohol. I mean, if that's really the drug, because that's what's killing people. And if you really want to get deep into it, go into Oxys, Percocets,
That's
Xanax,
really what's killing
Somas, MS Cottons. I mean, we could go on and on and on of what you could actually have in your car and not get arrested for. But if I have one joint in the car, I could go to jail for that. That is in
That's
itself
insane.
criminal
Yeah.
in my mind. And that's where the biggest problem is the fact is that I could go to jail for one joint, but I could have all those things I mentioned besides the heroin and the coke, obviously.
Yeah.
And I could have that in my car and not have to worry about going to jail. So that's the real criminalization of what we're suffering right now. And that's why we're so pushing forward with cannabis. And that's why alcohol is pushing back against cannabis. Pharma's pushing back against cannabis. Because for people that don't know, Colorado actually raised in a couple quarters more money on cannabis than they did with alcohol.
No.
Tax-wise.
And
So-
Coors is from there.
and Colorado, I mean, you can find a beer in every freaking corner.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're everywhere,
Yeah.
literally. So it's known for that. And God bless Colorado for having a recreational and a medical. And I think we should do that here, absolutely. Start with medical, move into rec, or if we could go to rec, if we could get people to actually go and sign this. I mean, I'm telling you, make it a Pro Bowl, Super Bowl mandate. If you're going to
Absolutely.
have a party at your house, print this thing out, go to the
Circulate
website,
it.
print out these applications. Before they walk in your house, say, hey, by the way, sit down at my kitchen table, fill out these forms, submit it in, and then now you could come into my house.
Hold them
And
hostage.
All right.
That's what you're saying.
www.regulateflorida.com in order to download the petition,
Right.
and then go ahead and sign it, return it. You need to be a Florida voter. If you need to register to vote, then sign the petition. We need every single signature. If you're interested in partaking and making choices for yourself as far as your
Don't even
health,
give them the option, Cheryl.
Yeah.
You guys got to do this.
Yeah,
Point blank.
She was yelling a minute ago, and now
Yeah,
all of a sudden
no,
she's giving in.
Point
Yeah, well,
blank. You got to do
hey,
this.
listen, I'm about freedom.
Make it a point to make sure you have these applications to fill out. It'll take them 3 to 5 minutes
Right.
to get it done. Make sure before they walk in to watch a Super Bowl in your house and you have that big barbecue where you have 40 or 50 people coming to your house.
No buffalo chicken dip.
No dip, know nothing.
What is buffalo chicken dip?
It's so good.
What is that?
Oh my gosh! You
Awful.
do you ever go to Hooters? Like what?
Yeah, I've been
Ham
to
Hooters?
Oh my goodness!
What are you
Hooters.
trying to
buffalo
say,
chicken
sir?
is-
I'm not saying anything.
I go to Hooters constantly.
I
don't know
actually
what
go
you're
to
I
talking
Hooters.
bet you don't even know what a Hooter looks
My
like.
goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Smackdown.
Speaking of which, Arby's Mail Sack is coming up. It's our recap of questions about cannabis in Florida. If you would like to know a question about cannabis or CBD, just leave a comment or a question in the comment section. Hey, this is supposed to be your segment,
It
Cheryl.
is. I actually want to talk about the Canna Headhunters hot jobs. So last week we talked about executive assistants being the hot job
Right.
in cannabis. A lot of these, former patients, former business people, people transitioning into the cannabis industry. They have great ideas. They have successful companies, and now they have to manage the world. So executive assistants are exactly what we're needing right now in the cannabis industry. Another opportunity is in the call center world. So with these petitions and with the threats that we're seeing in the middle of the country, cannabis businesses are now needing outbound salespeople. They're needing customer service reps. There's even the organizations that are involved. They're needing people to call politicians. They're now paying positions to call politicians in various states. So please, if you're interested in that activity, email your resume to Canna Headhunters
There you go.
at outlook.com. You can visit our website, www.cannaheadhunters.com. If you are an employer and you're looking for great talent, we have a plethora of resumes for very talented, high-performing individuals that are cannabis-friendly with integrity. And you can also email us at cannaheadhunters@outlook.com. So I wanted to use some of my segment for that. But yes, the theme for today is all about being active, being involved, signing the Regulate Florida petition, circulating it, making it a mandate in all of your social gatherings. That's how we're going to push the envelope. That's how we're going to get through the bureaucracy. Regulate Florida petition, it allows for home grow.
Right.
It says regulate
Bada
like
bing.
alcohol.
Bada boom.
The people will speak and it cannot be misinterpreted because it's a 4-page petition.
Right.
So we learned
That's the
from
reason
the
it's so
last
long.
time-
Yeah.
we learned from the last time where we're like, this is so clear. It is supposed to be smokable. An Amendment 2 passed, and they just looked at it and stripped it apart and said, well, we don't interpret it the same way.
Right.
And that's what happened with the legislation. What they've done with the new petition, Michael Minardi, Karen Goldstein, the crew at Regulate Florida, they've made it very, very clear. You can do home grow. You can smoke. If you choose to, it is looked at as a delivery system, but you don't have to. You can do all the other things, vaping, capsules, everything else. It's not restrictive where you can only smoke.
Hey, you got your freedom to choose.
That's right.
You have your
It's
freedom
all
to
about
choose.
freedom.
It's all about choosing the way I want to do something.
That's right.
I don't want the
Edibles.
government telling me what I should do or how I should do it.
Right. You're giving
Especially if it works
What definitely works.
and if it's saving your life.
It is saving lives. I could promise you that because there's not people moving from Florida and all over the country to Colorado, California, and all these other states because they just decided to go live in the cold weather.
Right. That's not the
I
reason.
don't want to go move to
It's
the
not
cold
because of the
weather.
Denver Broncos
We just
or the
got
Rockies.
back. We just got back from Nebraska.
Yeah.
I don't
Oh,
want to
yeah.
live in. I don't want to live in cold weather. I'm tired. I've been
Nebraska.
Floridian my whole life. If they pass it, God bless them.
Yes.
But the fact is that we should have it here.
Right.
It should be nationwide.
Right.
We should have a choice to do this, and I guarantee you, crime's going to go down. It's been proven. DUIs are going to go down. Proven. Opiate addiction down. Proven. These are the things that we need to attack, and people need to understand that. Again, that's the reason why you should sit down and make sure that we regulate this like alcohol. Make sure you fill out the petition and get it submitted. Takes 5 minutes, guys, just 5 minutes. It's all it takes to make sure that we get this petition out there, make sure we get it out for a vote, and now leave it up to the people. Leave it up to us, the people that put you guys in power.
Right.
All right? Leave it up to us. We'll vote for it. If it doesn't pass, you know what? then it didn't pass. It's not the majority of the people.
Right.
We
Absolutely.
accept that. It is what it is. We didn't win. Okay, great. Now we keep on trying to educate
Absolutely.
so we can move forward. So it's not we sign, we win. It's we sign, we vote, and if we win, great. If we lose, we keep on pushing forward.
We won't be deterred.
We're not going to be deterred. We're going to continue to push forward because we've realized that education is key.
Yeah.
And the more we educate, the more that the senators, the House representatives, the more the naysayers, and once you sit them down and show them proof and they take the 5 minutes to read or meet a family that this product or this plant has helped, they're going to change their mind.
Yeah.
Because if they don't cry, then they ain't human. I could tell you that right now. Because I could put them in front of a bunch of children that if they don't cry with that family, they ain't got no soul and they ain't got nothing inside.
Well, some of them
They're
don't
a walking
have souls.
stick.
We talked about some of them today. They don't have souls.
Yeah,
We
they
know who
walk
they are.
and
I
stick.
agree.
Yeah.
So as far as Cheryl's closing arguments, get involved. Fill out at a minimum. Fill out the petition. At a maximum, donate to organizations such as Regulate Florida that have petitions. Donate to Mission Zero and the mission that Jose is going to close us out with. Make sure you're calling your representatives. At the state level, at the federal level, make sure you're staying informed, that you're educating others, that you're encouraging your entire social circle to take part in the petition. It is okay to have differences of opinion. That's been clear today.
Yeah.
But we all have to unite against the big enemy, which the big enemy is where legislation that is not friendly to freedom.
Right.
And that's not the American way.
Right.
Jose, I know you had another comment.
Absolutely. What I want to close with is for America, if not the world, to remember the 22. Every 90 minutes or so, there's a veteran somewhere in America ending their life. Not only that, we need to remember the silent victims, which are the spouses and the children.
Yes.
Okay. So please just do whatever you can to remember that and support Mission Zero. If you see a veteran, take the thank you a step further. How are you today? That can go a long way.
So true.
So that's my one point. And the second point, going back to the gala
Yes.
in Miami, I'm doing this with Pro Athletes Pro Cannabis in partnership with them. So tickets will be available on proathletesprocannabis.com, missionzero.us. And also the Florida Cannabis Coalition is involved as well. So if you're interested in purchasing tickets, tickets will be available on those 3 websites.
Nice.
And we'll make
Cannabis
sure to
Life
put-
Radio. Ooh, sorry.
Yes, go ahead.
Cannabis Life Radio will be present on the green carpet for
Yes.
that event. We will definitely be at our table. We would like to meet more of the community at a nice event. We have this stigma of us being stoners and et cetera and so on. We're going to be all dressed up, all dolled up,
Yep.
and having intelligent discussions about legalization. We want you to be a part of those discussions. So please join us, because you'll definitely see Arby there. You'll see me, Leon. The whole crew will be out there. We can't wait to meet more of our listeners. Arby.
And we want people that don't agree.
Yeah.
I want more
Want to
people.
find you. We want to know who you are.
No, we want them to come in to this gala and meet the people that they're going to be supporting, because I guarantee you, as soon as they meet them,
Yeah.
they're going
They'll change
to
their mind.
change. It's going
Yeah.
to change instantly,
Yep.
because they're going to meet real people.
Yeah.
Real people that have fought for this country,
Yeah.
real athletes that are suffering,
Right.
people that have opiate addiction or have gone through them, including myself.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the people they're going to meet.
Right.
They're going to meet people. So that's the people that I want coming here. I want people that have the doubt in their minds. I don't want to see this. God bless us. We all see each other a lot.
Yeah.
But the fact is that I want to see people that don't agree or have a question or have a doubt of why we should vote yes or why we should push certain amendments or regulate Florida. We want the people that are knowers, that are naysayers. We want those people to come so we could have a conversation with them. And it's always peaceful. You'll never see. It's not alcohol where you're going to get into a bar fight.
Right.
Literally, it's, hey, let's sit down. Let's have a conversation. Why do you think we shouldn't have this?
Right.
Tell me why. Why? Because they said this is a gateway drug? Absolutely not. We have plenty of doctors that say that this is a way out of drugs. Plenty. And proof of it.
Right.
So it's not just us saying it. We have research showing that this is a way out of an opiate epidemic, including the federal government that gave Albert Einstein University $4 million, for people that don't know, $4 million to basically find out and do a study on people that have HIV, that have highly addictive, and are taking highly addictive drugs to see how they could get them off those type of drugs. So the federal government's already involved, and they know that this is an out, not an in. So we want the people at this gala that don't truly believe in this or have doubts, so we can have conversations with you guys and really have you support us, because we need the support of the people to get this thing done.
Nice. All right. Well, we got to take one more break, and you know what's coming up next. We're going to not only
sack.
we got Arby's mail sack. Yeah, Arby's mail sack is coming up. Jose's like, what in the world are they talking about? And we're going to announce the winner of your the giveaway. The Green Roads giveaway is coming up.
Oh, nice.
You are currently tuned to Cannabis Life Radio, brought to you by
Green Roads World.
Green Roads World.
Green Roads World is recognized as one of the world's leading suppliers of CBD products, and Cannabis Life Radio is giving away Green Road CBD products every week. To join, just tune in on our Facebook Live broadcast every Saturday morning at 10 and follow the instructions on air and in the comment section. Cannabis Life Radio is teaming up with Green Roads World to give you free CBD. Good luck from Cannabis Life Radio and Green Roads World.
Across the state to across the country, the Hemp Kings is your online home for hemp oil products. From organic hemp oil to intense concentrates, there is only one name you need to remember. The Hemp Kings.
The Hemp Kings.
Our hemp cream pain blaster lotions uses natural essential oils to deliver hemp's natural pain reliever directly to the site of inflammation for long-lasting relief. Now, our Pain Blaster Hemp Cream has now gone to the extreme.
Extreme?
Extreme!
Extreme!
New Pain Blaster Extreme Cream delivers even more relief, even faster! The best hemp products at the best prices delivered anywhere in the continental U.S. TheHempKings.com!
TheHempKings.com!
As a loving pet owner, you want to treat your senior dog for dysplasia, neuropathy, and joint discomfort with minimal traditional chemical medication. And as loving pet owners, we at King Canine agree, and we're excited to make our signature CBD line available to you. Derived from all-natural cannabidiol compounds, lab-tested, non-GMO, plant-based, cutting-edge King Calm CBD reduces inflammation and discomfort naturally, and even reduces anxiety from fireworks and thunderstorms. Go to KingCanine.com. That's KingKanine for details. And browse a full line of products like King Comb Deshedder, King Calm Balm, and King Clean Shampoo for pet wellness inside and out. Order now using the code BARK20 for an exclusive 20% discount. KingKanine.com. King Calm CBD and the rest of our natural cannabidiol products. King Canine for natural pet wellness inside and out.
Florida Homegrow is the state's #1 seller of hemp oil products. Stop by and check out their organic hemp oil, capsules, and pain-killing topical lotions. Enjoy a complimentary cup of fresh organic coffee when checking out our beautiful showroom. Florida Homegrow also carries unique hemp items like jewelry, soaps, clothing, and accessories. Don't forget to try refreshing natural lemonade or delicious ice cream sandwiches. Florida Homegrow is conveniently located on Lake Worth Road between Jog and the Turnpike. We're the #1 sellers of hemp oil products because our stuff works.
This is the radio show people talk about all week long.
Yeah.
This is Cannabis Life Radio.
Oh, man.
We got a unicorn in the building.
That's a deep voice.
Yeah, we did have control of this radio program for about 20 minutes.
That's
and
it.
Then we lost it.
Can you kind of focus? I want to send out a shout out to Chris Sunshine real quick with the unicorn.
Chris Sunshine?
Sunshine.
Hillary, Robert, Chris.
There we go.
Ryan,
there we go.
Hurley,
Shout out.
Maria. The
I know
whole
a girl named
crew,
Maria.
Sunshine Cannabis,
Sunshine
Elijah.
Cannabis live shot of the unicorn right here in the corner.
Oh, wow.
You know, we got the unicorn sitting there. Shout out, Chris.
What in the world is going on? You have a winner you need to announce here.
Winner, chicken dinner.
This name right here is your
winner, chicken dinner.
for CBD
I
products.
always tear up names, so please forgive me for tearing up yours.
That's easy.
Caitlin Louise Howell.
Caitlin
Is that
Louise
Howard
Howell.
like the third? Are you
Thurston
wealthy?
Howell. Yes, Thurston Howell.
Thurston Howell, the third.
I need this. This
Isn't
is
that
mine.
like Fantasy Island or something?
No,
No,
that
it's the
was
other one.
Gilligan.
Gilligan Island.
Enjoy your CBD.
Yep.
And let us know how it works.
And that's what? How much? That's the
500?
The 500?
$500.
So that's a
worth?
$500
goodness.
giveaway of CBD from Green
goodness.
Roads World. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, and we got. It's time for Arby's mail sack. I lose it every time I hear that music. All right,
Because you picked it.
I know. All right.
No, of course.
All right. The first question we want to ask is the one that we postponed from last week. It's why would dispensaries not support smokable cannabis products?
Makes no damn sense why they don't support it, because they ain't gonna make no damn money if they can't sell flower. So
Right. So we're talking about one of the grower licensees that in particular, correct?
that is correct.
Yes.
So they walked in. Actually, you didn't wasn't you?
Knox.
It's in there. It's in there.
Knox.
Knox.
Now Knox, let me quick Knox, wake up, man.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. How are you not gonna support flower?
Why would they do? I
You know,
don't understand what.
Who,
I know
who paid
why.
you?
Could you
who
explain
did
it to me,
what?
please?
You know, did this guy come and visit you?
Ah.
I mean, I don't know what you
Maybe
guys
it's
are
Granny
thinking,
Clampett.
but the fact is that you got to support flower. That's where everything is at. Everything is at on the flower.
Well,
And
why
then
is it,
after that-
Cheryl?
So the reason why is a money reason, and it's down to
Miracle.
processed stuff can come from dispensaries. It takes money to process, so it kind of distinguishes them from, let's say, a home grow or the illegal
goodness.
market. So they're saying, yeah, if there's flour, then you can't tell whether you got it from a dispensary or you grew it yourself or you got it from the illegal market. Yeah. But if you have oils, it's processed. So most likely it came from a legal source.
Yeah.
So it's just to make that distinction. That's their rationale.
That makes
but
no
but it
damn
makes
sense.
no
That's
sense.
what they're saying in public
And
anyway.
That's what they're saying in public. But, it's unfortunate because it is, it does separate the industry. It is divisive.
That's where we need Bill Monroe. Big Bill, I know you're watching and I know you're listening.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the guys you need to talk to and ask them, why are they thinking that, we don't need flour.
All right.
So, thank you for actually taking my call yesterday and us talking.
Yeah.
Had a great conversation yesterday. And you're doing an amazing job. Congratulations on, for what you've accomplished.
And
but those
3
people,
boys as well.
Yeah, 3 boys, and Bill Monroe is helping them out. Those are the people we need to speak to and ask them. What's the deal, man?
All right.
I mean, seriously, like what's going on with you guys?
Going on. All right. Next question. Marticia. Do we have to worry about losing our gun rights if marijuana is legalized in Florida?
We've had this question a number of times, and because there's so much instability in the industry, it's a hard call at this point. No, it is my understanding. It is on the application for new applicants to indicate whether they are a patient taking medical marijuana. However, there's no evidence that a gun will be taken from you if you are a legal gun
Let me ask you a
holder.
quick question. If I go to Walgreens right now, get a prescription from a doctor, get 168 Oxycontins, are they going to ask me when I go get a gun?
No, they don't care.
Okay,
They don't
that's
care.
it. Should be the same way.
No, if you just got let out of the insane asylum and you say you want to buy a gun,
Go ahead, no problem.
I mean,
Yeah.
it
an
should
issue.
be the same freaking thing.
But if you smoke pot, you can't buy a gun. All right.
No, it's not that. But there.
Don't
it's
say that.
Not.
Yeah.
It's not that.
Right.
No. There is no evidence. There is no cases where people were restricted from having a gun
Except
because
Hawaii.
they've been.
We're getting to the end. Better
Except
wrap
what?
it up on my sack
Why?
because it's almost.
We hear
over.
the music.
We're
so
good.
You don't hear the music?
I don't hear the music. Are we getting cut off? Are we getting shut down?
Soon.
No. Okay. Well, I
we're
like
good.
that.
I like
background,
it.
so
Overtime.
theme
Keep it
music
gr-
for
it's
a-
Overtime.
It's Cannabis Life overtime.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Too.
All right, here we go. Mike,
About sports.
if Jeff Sessions is removed, how quickly do you think marijuana will be legalized federally? That's going to be
Depends on who they replace him with.
Exactly. Not even that. I mean, I think besides who they replace them with, it's, again, we're going to need regulations. So if we put some sort of good regulations in place where they can make a lot of money,
Yeah.
I think then that's where it's going to be really just open up the market completely.
Right.
Go ahead.
Well,
I'm sorry,
we're
Cheryl,
playing.
what were you
No,
gonna say?
I was just going to say we're working towards having some type of lobby day federally in DC mid-February. We're working with Hemp for Victory. Arby's kind of spearheading this effort to find out if there's one that exists related to the hemp and CBD industry, or because we don't want to reinvent the wheel. But there will be some type of lobby day in February for going to the federal government where we can talk about the Hemp Bill 3530 and the Rohrabacher Amendment and just making sure that we let them know that we're here.
Oh, yeah.
We are here, and we are voters, and we're willing to do whatever we need to make sure there's legalization. So stay tuned from notes from Arby on that.
Yeah.
Don't forget, we got 400,000 signatures, folks. When we start sending out those emails, make sure you're standing on the right side, not the wrong one.
All right. Janet from Orlando, do you think CBD will be available in grocery stores someday?
It is.
It is right now.
Is, right?
Actually, Walmart has it. I don't know.
Whole Foods.
Lucky's.
Whole Foods.
Lucky's carries it.
There's again,
Sears.
we are a CBD company that's derived from hemp. We'll continue to say that. We would love to have full plant. Obviously, one day, 5 years from now, that's up to the nurseries and dispensaries. That's why we want homegrown and regulate Florida and stuff like that. But test your products, guys.
Yeah.
Make sure you do a little research. And that's a shout out now to EVO Labs in Davie. If you guys want to get something tested, look them up. It's an easy thing to look up. You know, whether you're a head shop, smoke shop, whether you're taking the product yourself, any product that you're taking, anything, and you want to know what's in it, it doesn't cost much. Look up Evo Labs in Davie. Chris Martinez, who's done an amazing job with his facility. Look it up. Send the bottle in and get it tested so you know what you're giving to your customer when they come in and buy that bottle. That's including our bottle.
Right.
If you want to take our bottle and send it into him, send it into him. The fact is, he's independent. He's going to be the one that's testing the nurseries and the flowers or the oil here for the States. He's got all brand new equipment. He's licensed to do this. This is what they do. So if you have something that you want to test or take, send it to him. And whoever, if it's good, then take it. If it's not good, then you know you need to move to a brand that actually is good and that it's not going to hurt you. Okay. So that's very important. Evo Labs, Chris Martinez, look it up. It's in Davie.
Okay, this one is Pitre. I guess that's what that is.
Hey, Pitre.
What's up,
from
Pete?
Alberta, Canada.
Ooh, we love Canada. We'll be there soon.
We'll be in Toronto?
Toronto.
Toronto.
On the 15th.
I won't. Arby, Cheryl, and Leon, how many milligrams of CBD per day do you each take?
I take about anywhere between 50 to 75 milligrams, depending. But I got 3 hip replacements, and I'm all
way
banged
above
up.
that, so don't feel bad.
Yeah, I'm about 66.
Well, it's always good, and I'm going to tell you this: I'm not a doctor, and I can't recommend. But
Right.
the fact is that you could overdo it at times.
It doesn't.
So what you want to do is at times you want to
Pump
take
it
your
up and then
regimen
and then take it
kind of
down.
release
Yep.
it down. You're not going to go with
That's
draws.
when I get the
There's
best
no
result.
nothing. But the fact is that you always at times want to decrease it,
Yep.
and then go start climbing back
Yep.
up and kind of play with it because I don't take it every day.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
there's days like today, like I feel great. I'm angry. My blood's running, and I don't need it. You know, I'm not hurting. Plus, we didn't fly 3 time zones in like 2 days,
Right.
so I actually got rest this
That's
week.
next week.
So that's
in
why
the
I'm
bad
hot.
seats.
So
we
that's-
were so crunched up on the last
yeah,
flight.
no more of that. So we can handle that problem.
All right. We
Yeah,
got,
but I take 33 milligrams in the morning and 33 at night. We have a 1,000 milligram daily dose, which if you take the daily dose, you're getting 33 milligrams of CBD, and that's my preference. But then I may throw in like 2 froggies. So
I want to close this. I just want to say, follow us on social media, guys. You get a lot of information on social media. Go to it's not our site, but go to whatiscbd.com.
Yeah.
If you want to know what CBD is, go to whatiscbd.com. So when people ask, oh, what's CBD? Well, just put .com after that.
Okay.
And you'll be able to see what is CBD.
All right.
Okay. Besides that, you could also follow us at Sea Life Radio on Instagram. You could do that also on Facebook. Personally, my Instagram is rb.sealife. Cheryl, you want to share yours?
yeah, my email address is smp, like Sarah Michael Paul, but smpesquire@outlook.com. And definitely you wanna add terpenes in your life too. That's the morning thing.
Don't
Add
give out
some
that
terpenes.
secret yet. We'll talk about that next week.
Terpenes? Okay. That's
Yeah, I
fine.
don't think they know too much about it.
Oh, well,
Okay.
let's do terpenes.
Let's do
next
terps.
week.
We'll do
I'm
terps.
all about that.
all right. Now let's get back to the show.
All right.
Valeria from Orlando. What is that? Oh, it's a picture of the Daily Dose. I was wondering what that is.
Ooh, that's my
There it is right
favorite.
there. Yeah, there on the
1,500. I
screen.
used the 1,000, but I like it.
All right. Valeria from Orlando. Are dispensaries planning on selling edibles soon?
We hope, and I think there's
They're
a
waiting for
lawsuit
the
against
rules.
it.
Yeah, no, they're waiting for.
No,
They're
there's
just
rules.
waiting for the rules to be developed, but they're preparing.
Yeah. I'm sure they're going to be delicious.
That's when I'm count me in.
Yeah, okay. All right, here's the last question. If Jeff Sessions leaves the White House, will the other elves welcome him back to the Keebler treehouse?
No.
What?
He's homeless.
Oh, my
He's gonna know what it feels like.
No comment.
Yeah, no comment.
No, no comment. I'm just messing with you, Jeff.
Mr. Sessions.
That's our boy.
That's our dog.
Jeff, come through. Come
Come
through,
on,
Jeff.
Jeff.
We'll welcome
Come
you,
on,
man.
Jeff.
Don't
We
be
will be
afraid.
back next
Come
week.
on, you always
Come on,
welcome, Jeff.
Jeffrey.
Cannabis
We
Life
got
Radio
you.
has
We
been a
got some CBD
presentation
for you,
of
Jeff. Come
Green
on
Roads
through.
World.
Peace.
Join us next week for another edition of Cannabis Life Radio. Cannabis Life Radio has been a presentation of Green Roads World.